I've worked with many schmoes over the years. They're my sidekicks and friends, so I adore them. All the schmoes of the world unite. Joker's here, and he's glad he is.
Live from Collider Studios in Burbank, California, it's the Schmoes Know Show. Tonight, a look at Season 7 of Game of Thrones, movie news, perhaps a appearance of the game. And now, here's your hosts, Ken Knapsack, Grace Hancock, no, Brett Sheridan, no, John Roca, no, Mark Ellis, no, Josh Makuga. Everyone's the host tonight on Schmoes Know. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome. Schmoes Know Show. I'm just gonna look at this box.
Whoa,
we have a
cheeky
packed show with a lot of wonderful characters here tonight. We have got actress extraordinaire, TV talk co-host, news girl, Heather Grace Hancock here.
Well, what an
Wow.
intro. Thank you,
I'm
Ken.
going by your official
I know.
IMDb name.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, because it's
Thank you,
official.
Mr. Knapsack.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. John Roca's
Yes.
here.
Hey, thanks for that intro, Ken. Appreciate it. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
I haven't
I'm
seen
having
your
a great time.
IMDb name.
No, it's the same, but with a Steven in the middle. I don't get a Heather Grace Hancock. I like that, Grace.
Why don't you go by
Thank you.
Steven then?
No, I
She
don't
goes
like it.
by Grace.
I don't like Steven.
You don't Steven
You don't
Roca.
look like
No.
a Steven.
Thank you.
You don't
You
look
don't look
like
like
a
a John either.
What do I look like?
A Roca.
Hello.
A Roca.
I like Roca. Like a
He
Brazilian.
looks like an outlaw.
Returning to the
Cucaraca.
show tonight. Were you here last week? I wasn't.
Yes, I was here last week.
Okay, so-
I killed it.
You're
kid.
not
I killed it.
returning. Is the man with his back to the world?
Oh man, I'm so scared to look at a camera right now.
You're frozen over there.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm trying to. I didn't know which
Just
camera
release
not to look
yourself.
at, so I'm not
Don't
looking
look at it.
anywhere in
Don't
this
even think
direction
about it.
right
Just
now.
release yourself from that.
Oh, I feel so
Just
free,
release-
man. Now I get it. This is so happy, man. I feel it.
You weren't there during the Toad Hop.
I
days.
wasn't. I
You were
didn't
a
even
fake
watch.
memory in Christian's brain, and then you snuck into his birthday
Yeah.
party, and now you're here.
Yeah.
With your back to the camera, you should be thankful.
Don't tell him the true story. I auditioned, and I worked very hard to get where I am.
were
But
funny
that's the
that
boring story. If you snuck into a birthday party, that's how you do it in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
basically snuck.
You don't
You were
show up
very
to the
funny.
audition.
I
You're
basically
very
snuck
funny.
it.
You went on stage. You insulted your wife. The whole crowd
Oh.
laughed, and then now you're here, and that's what it is.
You know, low hanging fruit. I gotta.
Over there on the Instagram chair, we have Andres Ace Cabrera.
Yeah, man.
How are you, Ace?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Are you ready to fight?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah?
I'm ready.
You look
Oh.
like the Red Viper of Dorne over
Oh,
there.
bring it on,
Remember
man.
what
All
happened
the-
to him?
All the comment sections coming at me.
Yeah?
Look at
Going
that.
for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I am the mountain to your head.
Oh, hello.
Hey, guys, remember what happened on that fight? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we both died.
Oh, that's right.
On the couch as well. We're going to start our journey tonight over on the couch, actually. We're going to see, we're going to check in with the wild man, Josh Makuga, who's looking a
Ooh.
little,
Oh, wait a minute.
little pale.
Mark,
and
what
then
do you-
Mark Ellis, I'm in your seat. You've picked up some jewelry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some bling there.
I
forgot he had it still on.
I'm under observation as I'm observing our own show
Wow.
happen tonight. So
What? Can we talk about it at all?
We
How
can,
are you feeling?
we can talk about
Some
the
shit went
incident.
down.
There's a Molotov
Yeah.
cocktail in your gut right now.
It's just it was a crazy confluence of events here today at Collider Video, but this is me feeling a lot better, and I owe everything about my recovery to my emergency contact, Josh Makuga. I also owe most of the reason why I needed recovery to my emergency contact, Josh Makuga. But Ken, what concerns me is that a lot of people are probably watching this, and they're saying, "Oh, those idiots hit it too hard this weekend at his bachelor party in San Diego," when it could not be further from the truth. We were very well-behaved citizens from all accounts.
Yeah, you guys recovered just in time. You guys had a little slow Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah,
but you had some
Monday was
fun. No one ended up in jail. No one ended up in the hospital. It was a work day that put you into the hospital.
Yeah,
It was a work day.
Here's the thing: the footage will be revealed at some point.
Yeah, I get final cut on that.
Yeah,
but,
Market's final cut,
Yeah.
as well as it'll be on Awesometacular at some point. I will say that we were prepping for a game that you've all seen if you watch that show. It's called Movie Shots. And I was picking out sauces and weird tasting things from the refrigerator and the shelves around here. And I picked out a hot sauce that was apparently dropped off to us by the Complex show Hot Ones.
Right.
And I didn't read the bottle well.
Yeah. Hey, Cobster, could you send Cody's son to my office and my shelf?
Yes.
Is the evidence that
Cody
we
has a
need
son.
here.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bro.
And,
Mind your own business.
So
The big Schmoes Know reveals that Max is actually Cody's kid. And it's,
It's madness.
it's
Look
all
at this.
coming out
Hot
today.
scoop.
So I made
it's
the
all
shot.
fun and games.
So it's honestly all fun and games. We're getting ready for the thing.
Which we've executed this stunt many.
This is like the
many
sixth
times.
time we've
Yeah.
done this.
But we shoot in bulk. We shoot,
We shoot in bulk, and we were going to shoot 2 episodes, and I was making all kinds of different concoctions, and Mark takes it. He runs off stage.
I played through it for about 10 seconds. It was
a solid 7
he
seconds.
called for water.
Yeah, anytime you do one of these shots, whether it's just like the one I had done before was just like warm, kind of weird coffee, and then I did like one that tastes like just like a lot of salad dressings mixed together, and then
Like
there was
hilarious. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Salad
it's like,
dressing mixed with
look at the weird
olive juice.
tart face on Mark. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next trivia question. And then Jeremy and I couldn't get it, and we both had to take this shot that was red, and I did it, and it tasted something of like tomato-based up top, but then this heat, which I can only imagine is from the very pits of the 7th layer of hell itself, started to attack my throat.
Right.
And Jeremy was still trying to guess what the correct answer was. And I was just like, just guess a fucking answer so I can get some water and they can cut. And I just had to walk off set. And neither Jeremy or I ever walked back on.
Yeah.
No, it was like Dracarys. Legit Dracarys.
There was
Mark
at
Ellis.
one point. The
Now, here's
two
the
stars of this were huddled on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the bathroom floor for the better part of 2 hours when initially, like, because Jeremy was feeling the effects worse than I was.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'll take care of my boy here, so I'll walk across the street in 110-degree weather and go get some ice cream for him and me and Panera, because I wasn't feeling good. But I was like, I think I can make it across the street and back. Then I get back, and it's just like, it just kept going downhill. And the problem with hot sauce is that it starts out up here, and it's killing you. Then it gets in your stomach, and it's burning down here.
Yeah.
Then you throw it up, then it's right back. It's like you threw up pepper, but it also stays in your throat again. So just kept going back and forth to the point when I texted Josh one word: ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah. Wow.
So I said, listen, and Christian Harloff was the voice of reason. He's like, dude, an ambulance for this is going to be way too expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
Christian's
don't
my
do
personal
it.
trainer. He's like, Mark, I know you want to do 10 reps today. We're going to make you do 12 reps.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
he ended up making the right call. Like, everybody here at Collider was, like, so supportive of both me and Jeremy. But, like, when they could tell I was, like, really in bad shape, everybody's so nice. And the problem when you work in an office where everybody's so supportive of you is that everybody wants to check on you.
Right.
And I'm like, I just want to be
need
I
to
got to be alone. And then when I realized I had to suffer with other people, I was like, then have Makuga fire up the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And he can drive me to the nearest
And I'm
gas
driving like a bat. He's like, dude, don't drive too fast. I'm like, fuck off. If a cop pulls me over, I'm going to run out. My buddy's dying in the back seat. Mark is
This
breathing
is what he
heavily.
tells me. He's like, don't worry, dude. I've had to drive a lot of people to the hospital. I've gotten pulled over by cops before. I'm like, what kind of double life do you lead? And then you're trying to be a good friend. 'Cause I'm in the back, like, puking into a trash can. And God bless Wendy Lee. Right before we left, I was like, I don't want to ruin my wake hat.
Yeah.
So I need a trash can to puke into. And then Josh pulls out like a bat out of hell. He's got the AC blasting. 95.5 KOS is on the radio. And so he
I'm
turns it
figuring-
up. Aerosmith Sweet Emotion, and Josh is like, Ellis knows how to rock out. This is going to make him better. And I was just like, dude, this is not that kind of party at all. So,
So we went to the hospital, went to the emergency room,
Right.
We get to the front window, and in Mark's defense,
I was in bad shape.
Mark looked like he went 12 rounds. I mean, his
Yeah.
face was on fire. The collar of his shirt was pulled down to his belly button. I mean, like everything was sweaty. He was red. He was breathing really heavy. I mean, to the point of hyperventilation. There's a guy there with a head wound, and they're
Imagine
like,
Josh Makuga doing a 2-hour TV talk.
Yeah.
That's how I look. Right.
all the sweats. So I said to the guy at the window, I said, hey, listen, my buddy ate too much hot sauce. We need to get back there. He's really having a lot of trouble breathing. His stomach, he keeps puking. We just need some help quick. And here this guy go in the background, hey, just give him some milk. He'll be fine. Hey, give him some milk. Hey.
Like someone in the lobby?
Guy waiting. He's like, hey, young man, give him some milk. Give him some milk. I'm like, we tried milk. We tried the milk. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to convey to everybody, to my audience in the waiting room and to the nurses. I'm like, look, this is not my first rodeo with ingesting weird things or poisonous substances. Like, I do this on a weekly basis when I'm on the road, so I know how to do this. It's just, this is a special situation where it just would not go away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I need to go see a professional. So
It
So we
seemed
went-
to pick up speed.
It
with
really
you.
did.
God,
It
it's
escalated
bad, yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, it
so.
went downhill so fast.
So we
Yeah.
got there, and they the doctors over there at St. Providence.
Providence, St. Joseph's in
Providence,
Burbank.
St. Joe's.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
The whole staff over there, if any of you guys listen or watch, amazing. They were fantastic. They
Justin,
gave him
Steve, Gerardo with a great shirt.
Gerardo.
Yeah.
Brings us to our new
George.
sponsors.
St. Joe's of Providence.
St. Joe's Providence.
And here's the capper of the story. We're leaving. We're in the car. He can't have anything acidic in his stomach for 24 hours.
Right.
We're driving, and a guy is walking, and he's like pointing in the car. And he's like, like he's a fan of the show, and we were like, hey man,
Yeah,
been a
we're-
rough day.
We're sitting in traffic, and like he walks by once, and then I see him pop his head back around. He's like, and then I just give him the devil horns, and he's like. And I'm like, been a rough day, but thank you.
That's
buddy.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, I mean, I'm sure you found it in your heart to forgive Makuga for randomly just grabbing bottles
Oh,
off
dude,
shelves.
it
you
wasn't.
know?
It wasn't anybody's fault. It's just like
No, it was
you
my
guys
fault.
with the shots. It's like, oh well, Jeremy and Mark survived that round, so let's see
Yeah.
how we can. It's almost like you guys like what can hurt them worse.
Right.
When it's like people at home are not going to be tasting these shots, so we can kind of sell it a little bit.
You
more.
could have
Yeah.
water and do it. Yeah. Now I won't give the name of the brand because they don't deserve the advertising. But the taglines are like, "This sauce will blow you away." It's 357,000 Scoville units. Pepper sprays at 500,000. Cody.
You drank pepper spray.
But basically, my throat apparently tried to sexually assault somebody.
Yeah, yeah. And on the side of the bottle is, I agree, is indicated by my opening of this bottle as follows in connection with my purchase of the product, and then list 5 limit liability clauses that were there. So I'm glad you
Didn't see that, Mark.
survived.
I'm really
Look,
sorry.
I'm glad you
I
survived.
like hot sauce. Michael Anthony, the bass player for Van Halen, like he makes a hot sauce that I really enjoy. Like I like hot,
Yeah.
I like spicy stuff, and this thing was just,
Yeah.
this was just something else. But I really, really, really have to give it up to everybody here at the Collider
Yeah.
Studios because they all were checking on me. They all were being so nice and supportive, and like
Yeah.
it makes you feel like you really have brothers and sisters in arms when you got a situation like that.
I'll be honest with you. I put my noise canceling headphones on as soon as he started screaming.
Yeah, it was really loud
I was like,
outside.
it was too
didn't know.
much.
I had so much
and
to
I know with Mark Ellis, like I know he's the kind of getting to know Mark. Like you got to let him get through it. And I have nothing but respect for you now, as one warrior to another. Like
Thank
that you go through this kind of crap, come out the other side, and
Yeah.
you're still doing the show. People don't know.
Well, kind of,
Josh
yeah.
Makuga does not fully describe like what you look like. It was
I
literally-
tried, man. I am not George R.R. Martin describing dragon deaths. Okay, what I'm trying to describe is as I am freaking out inside
Yeah.
my body, watching one of my
You
best
thought-
friends
you thought you
die in
killed your
front of
friend.
me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
The man is in my wedding. I love this guy to death. As he is like recovering in the the hospital room. We paid enough for a Ritz. Let's just say at the hospital. We're in the hospital room talking about the all-time great sick performances, and I was like, "You got to go back on the show tonight. You got to
Yeah.
put out the Michael Jordan
Yeah.
flu game."
You're like
Yeah,
Pete
that's what it
Sampras. Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras. That was
we
his.
actually had a spirited debate with some of the nurses. Was it Jordan's flu game the best sick game of all time, or Pete Sampras USO? And I was like Pete Sampras because he was by himself. There was
Yeah.
nobody else that could have played tennis for him.
And he was in white shorts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and he was throwing up on the changeovers.
Yeah, yeah.
Jordan didn't throw up during the game.
And somebody could have Judd Bushler could have hopped in and scored 11. Like they still could have been competitive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're very happy you survived.
And
we can
my hats off
understand.
to everybody at Schmoes for taking care of the show and you guys just like doing what you guys do. This is why we trained all of you so well.
It's too bad half the audience checked
to
out
win.
when they didn't see you at the main table or Christian. But it's glad that we got you in there. Maybe some came back. My big concern, I just want to ask you right now, you mentioned it going here to here and then back up to here. But you haven't mentioned the southern route, which I think might be coming soon. And that's my biggest concern for you right now is where that's going to go.
It's gonna be a pain.
Is that why you're on
The southern route. I haven't mentioned the old Mason-Dixon Highway. I haven't mentioned 85 South going to Florida.
Because that's
but,
where that gets me. That's where those BTUs.
Judging from how it felt in the first two places, there's no way it can get
gonna
worse.
Be
Oh.
you might,
Yeah,
So
might not
you
want to wear
haven't.
white shorts during it, but it's we'll be okay. I think we're we're in the clear now.
It's powerful
So,
stuff. No one ever doubted you guys, but at one point we were sniffing the bottle, and Christian accidentally got some near his eye. He can't see out of his eye. That's why he's not here right now. Right eye. He just had to go home.
Wait, is he at St. Joseph's?
Yeah, probably. He went to
Makuga, you might need to be another emergency contact. Get over there.
Here's the thing. I'm like tasting it. I put a little bit on my finger and like this, and I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's the appropriate amount. You poured the man a average shot glass.
Yeah, a shot of that.
Yeah, this is like one of those life-changing situations, though. Like, I appreciate everybody in my life so much more. It's like when I was driving home at night one time, it just freaked me out so much because I was on the road for so long by myself that now I don't like driving at night anymore. This might have ended spicy food for me. I don't know what the recovery process is going to be, but you guys are all awesome. I'm sure you guys are making fun of me and saying a lot of nice things at the same time. So
sure.
I appreciate it all.
He made it, guys.
Yeah.
It was legit serious. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
Eating that
Funny
is
story.
one thing. Taking a shot of that is like a whole different level.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, tell that to the producers of Austin Spectacular.
Who are those assholes? Fuck!
This is only my second week working here full time.
Yeah.
Like seeing Josh Makuga, the angry face, the concerned angry face. It was a whole new.
Oh, you've never seen him?
No, because Josh is usually a jovial guy. In my
He's a
experience,
jokester.
so to see him just sitting there, just I've killed my friend. I've killed my friend. I've killed my friend.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's the Pittsburgh.
But see,
I know
I
that there's
can
that
kind of
Pittsburgh
hear all this stuff going on, and there's like nothing worse like when you're like laid out on the bathroom floor than hearing people talk about you in another room. Like it's just because I can hear the whispering. I'm like, this is not making anything any better. But everybody was awesome, man. So.
I just waiting for you to clear that floor because I had some work to do. So
On more than one occasion, while I was on the bathroom floor in the one stall that we have here, I heard the old-fashioned the door opens, somebody sees somebody's in there, and then they just keep on going, and they go to the Yard House bathroom across the street.
I was one of those.
Sorry, Coster.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that office next door isn't here anymore. Because if so, those 19,000 shitters over there, they would have been really, really shit out of luck. If you know
I don't even want to. Boom. I don't even want to touch the sink in that bathroom, let alone be on the floor.
Well,
you pass a certain threshold because the first time I got in there, I was like, I'll just neatly put out some paper towels and I'll get down near the toilet in case I have to throw up. By the third run of it, I was just like literally licking the tile, like it just whatever I could do to feel a little bit better.
It wasn't good.
Well, we're glad you survived, guys. We got some stuff to talk about here tonight. We're gonna get in some news, Cops. Did we have any giveaways or anything before?
Oh, yeah. We got
I'm
plenty of
staring
giveaways.
at Brett when I mean to stare at you, but
That's okay.
we'll be all right.
We look the same, kind of. I just think I got to grow out my beard. So, like every single week, we've got some great giveaways for you guys. And this week, we are giving away 3 copies of Killing Hasselhoff on DVD.
What?
Yeah, it's starring the Hoff. That's what they call him, the Hoff himself. You got the one dude from The Hangover. Everybody loves that guy too. And then you also got 3 copies of Black Sails, the complete 4th season on Blu-ray. Makuga, hey, TV.
What? Black Sail.
All right, there you go. Thank you. And then also we are giving away a cool little bundle for Baywatch, the 4K edition of it. And you know what, RB3, can you help me out? We actually have some special guests that do want to talk about it. RB3, can you bring in our special guests over here, please? I know I didn't warn you about it. Come on, no, that's okay. Yeah, they're right there.
It's okay, honey. Go ahead.
Go bring them in here.
Bring in your friend.
Max, can you help him out? Can you bring in the other one, please? For the love of God, I mean, they're our guests. I know, all the way over here, RB3. This is going great. This is going fantastic.
Oh, you didn't tell him ahead of time. What do you expect, Cops?
Do they know how the camera is
Roka?
framed?
This guy.
Hey, Roka?
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there it is.
What's up, ladies?
Oh,
Hey,
wow, look at
these
that.
are my friends.
Look at
Who are
those
your
abs.
friends? Yeah.
Wow.
God.
So they
Zac
wanted
Efron
to
is
stop by Paramount, hooked it up with some. What's up, dude?
All right, did I just say that into
we
my
go.
Those are real abs, Bob.
Yeah. These are like, look at this guy, Grace.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think about that? Do you like?
I 100% not my type. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Okay.
Not
What
my
about?
jam.
Hold on. What about? Hold on.
I closer. We're getting warmer.
The tattoos, the nipple.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Nice.
the we got some great giveaways for that, and the Baywatch is a couple cool little bundle things that come along with it as well. You're not going to want to miss it. And how are you going to win those, Cody? Can you break yourself or no? We couldn't break ourselves. ourselves. But see that right there? That's how you can win all these prizes. Take a screenshot of that. All the different things. We are going to be taking phone calls all night long, so be calling in, whether it's Game of Thrones or if it's just one of the news stories, or a little bit later on the show, who you got for the game. And hashtag Schmozno all night, and RB3 will be picking out some of your questions, and we'll choose some random winners from there.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. I don't have proper news tonight. I was in the middle of writing the news.
What happened?
I had the news going. I was here on the set. And then a man down. Or two. So
men down.
Then I figured I'd be hosting tonight, so we didn't actually write the news, but we're going to get to the news there shortly there. I want to also remind you, too, that Schmoes know we are sponsored by our good friends at Squarespace. Squarespace is an affordable way to start creating a beautiful website. You don't worry about dealing with the hassles of coding and programming your site, as Squarespace is the easiest way to create an exceptional website, blog, portfolio, or online store with tons of slick and savvy designs, and working with companies like HBO and Pixar. You can bring your stories to life with Squarespace. We've teamed up with Schmoes. No, that's us to bring you a special offer. Try Squarespace free for 14 days and receive 10% off your first purchase. Check out squarespace.com/schmoesno for more information. Now, Heather Grace Hancock, you have a website, a web zone, as it were, called HeatherGraceHancock.com.
HGH.
I do. My website HeatherGraceHancock.com is with Squarespace. They're
Powered by
great.
Squarespace.
Yeah, they're really. I really. I've designed. I mean, because I've had websites for like 100 years, and
It's a long time.
It's a lot of websites, Joshy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're bar none my absolute favorite. I highly recommend.
Is it just because the ease of use?
Well,
you can,
yeah, and
you can
it's 'cause
upload
it's
one of
not-
your
'cause I'm
pretty
not a-
pictures easily, or what?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just need somewhere to like upload my pretty pictures, but easy. No, it's because it's all about.
What does your dog
design.
to human picture ratio go on your website?
There are no pictures of Rat because it is strictly my acting website.
Oh. But
But,
is there a www.rat.squarespace.com?
Could we
Will there
do
be
one
maybe?
picture of Rat on your acting website where it's Rat dressed like an uppity director?
Oh, like he has like a little
Beret
like
and,
director's
like, a
coat.
scarf.
The megaphone.
Yeah. I think Rat would look adorable in that.
I mean, Rat would look adorable in all things. Oh, are
Kenny.
you? How you doing?
There he is.
We have to talk about this table.
Yeah.
We have to talk-
It's the same table.
Everyone
relax.
If I hit my knee a fourth time on that corner, I'm gonna. That bottle of wine's gonna be cracked over.
Ken
Ace's
McCook
head.
and I have
I'm
great contacts down the street at St. Joseph's Providence.
Great knee
All right.
guy over
Hey,
there.
let's take a look at some movie news. Now, I don't have any prepared little silly jokes, but there was some news we want to get the team to talk about here this week. The big one, I think, without a doubt, is the original Dario Naharis. Ed Skrien, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Skrien.
Skrien?
Skrien.
Skrien?
Skrien?
Yeah, I did the interview
I
with
knew
him.
I knew him from somewhere.
should
My
have.
whole life
Yeah.
just fell into place.
Yeah, he should have had a purple beard on GOT, but he was cast in Hellboy. Now, Roca,
Yeah.
he takes a role that he didn't know, didn't research apparently, just took the role, and then turns out, hey, that character, which is Major Ben Daimio, am I saying that right?
Daimio.
Was of Japanese American descent.
Who knew? I guess you couldn't guess from the name,
Right.
right?
But
you,
hey.
you can't do the Brett Sheridan approach to every role. You can't just not
can't.
research and then just walk in the door. Like, you got to do something.
Go topless in your headshot, get
yeah,
a
you
role.
can't just,
And
But-
get your name on your undies.
supple nipples don't do the
So
job every time. Yeah.
Then trial by Twitter begins.
False.
Yes.
And it gets to him, and then he makes this decision of, you know what? I get it. This is
Yeah.
right. I'm going to bow out of this role. That's a good reaction and reaction.
I think it's
right.
a very ballsy thing for him to do, because he's not a household name like, say, Scarlett Johansson when she did that Ghost in the Shell movie. Yeah, there are people who've had these opportunities to turn down these roles and not take these roles, and Ed, who is in a lower strata, does it. And I think it's a great, because he's losing more by not being in Hellboy. This could be possibly a franchise that could go 3 movies deep. So it's a lot of money he could be possibly walking away from, but some things are worth more than that. And I think it's a great move by him, just overall as a good person, let alone, this could, I bet you there are going to be even more roles down the road for him now for doing this.
Could be.
Yeah.
Makuga, you got a hand up?
Yeah, so is this a different Hellboy than the Ron Perlman Hellboy?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a reboot.
God.
It's okay. You watch a lot of TV.
No,
you watch
hold
a
on.
lot of TV.
No, but
Yeah.
Ron Perlman isn't.
No.
David
It's David
Harbour.
Harbour.
From Stranger Things.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool, cool.
It's an exciting cast, like up to this point, and Perry, I think, was the first one to make a really good point that I think it actually is better that Ed decided to do this after he got cast, because it brings more light to the situation, that people should be more culturally sensitive when casting. I think Roca, maybe the Brett Sheridan approach actually helped him in this case. And just speaking from seeing a lot of Brett's commercials, I've never seen young hip dad more researched than when Brett Sheridan steps onto the set of a Lowe's commercial.
So very true.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of positive reaction to what he did. I saw, Ava DuVernay was like a new follower of him. Other people want to work with him now. So, Grace, when you hear this news happen here, you're a working actress. You've been on TV shows. This is a tough decision that he made. He might be he just came off Deadpool. It's not that the guy hasn't got any roles, but Roka's right. He's not known. Tough decision.
Yeah, really tough. I mean, it's a bummer that this decision was ever in his court because an actor doesn't say, cast me. I mean, maybe like a high, Scarlett Johansson can say that. He's maybe not in that position. So it's a bummer that this was in his court to be like, ooh, this is maybe insensitive when it should have been much higher above his head that they were like, yeah, let's not go with that guy.
Yeah, that's a good point because they had looked at the role and went, you know who we need? This guy. And I'm not making light of him, saying he just didn't research the role. Sure, hey, Hellboy, David Harbour, that sounds good. I'll take it.
Right.
So you're right. Maybe a little bit onus on them to going forward. And that's what Ellis is probably saying. This is the big lesson.
What I'm saying is that you should have cast somebody who was actually Asian, like Emma Stone.
Yep.
Oh,
hey,
100% Asian.
Aloha, Joel.
That's
Most
right.
Asian of
Nice.
Asians.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, interesting. And like I said, in these times this is someone who actually listened and helped. And I got to give him credit for that. And like Roka said, that could cost him. But in the end, Roka, you stick with your integrity, stick with your guns. It might reward you more in the end.
Sometimes it does work out. Sometimes this is not as cynical of a city as you think. There are people who want to help. Ava DuVernay, it's a great example. She steps in.
And I think that
she
we're
might wanna
moving
cast him
as
more.
an industry more towards a place of more integrity than we have been maybe in the past.
Yeah, and this isn't about social justice warrior bullshit. This is about doing what's right. This is right.
Yeah.
Ken, why was he taken off Game of Thrones?
He
I think
He left.
He left Game of Thrones.
He left?
Yeah.
I heard he had a problem with the Sansa Arya storyline. I heard an issue with the writing.
Oh,
He's,
I heard he had a lot of issue with that. So
Right.
he's
Is that
come
a
off.
shock?
Him and Emma have been really
it was
upset
pretty
about
cool.
it.
It was a cool
Yeah, no,
storyline.
Ace, that's right.
Was it a cool storyline?
That's what I heard.
Ace?
I heard he had problems
Okay.
with it.
I don't know.
You
if
think you're
it's
better
like-
than me?
I'll be honest with you guys. Because
you do.
I had something to do earlier today, so I'm not sure what all went into the pre-production, but this is kind of shaping up to be like a Ken and Ace talk about Game of Thrones, and I'm kind of like, I'm not feeling great, but I kind of want to hang out to watch. And I
want to see the fight.
I don't even watch Game of I didn't watch Game of Thrones this season.
Why?
What?
First of all, let's talk about that.
This is like
Lucky
McGregor
Mark.
Mayweather
That's
Game of
selling
Thrones.
this.
I did
honestly.
like I'm really busy, and as you can see, occasionally I push myself too far.
Right,
And,
your method.
And I went to Chris. I was like, dude, I just can't do the Game of Thrones on Sunday night anymore. And that's really the best time for us to do it. Is if we're going to review the show, then you watch it, then you put it up immediately. And after I got that freedom of not doing it, I was like, I'll watch it when I can. And there's too much preseason football on to watch Game of Thrones.
No,
so
your priorities
good
are
writing.
wrong.
That's good writing.
you're not the first person to tell me that.
I respect
There was man ass, Mark. Your priorities are wrong.
Yeah.
There was pristine man ass.
I do enjoy chapless ass.
As you should.
I can't knock my friend because today was a really tough day. But what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, Brett, you like that Spider-Man picture? Do you see that Spider-Man
I
picture?
didn't see the spider. I didn't do a lot. I've been laid up. for a
That's
while.
true. You've got kids.
But I did watch a lot of, and I did watch the entire season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, good.
Even after I hadn't seen the previous three.
Good.
But you told me you
I
fell asleep
checked
during
out.
the finale.
I did fall asleep during the finale.
What?
I get
said-
tired,
Well,
and
he's
sometimes
got-
when there's a lot of talking, I get sleepy. But
like
I
you trying to watch
rewound
that.
it.
Brett, are you
That sounds
upset that my medical issue might have superseded your bronchitis in the eyes?
No, I definitely am.
yeah.
I'm a little, I'm getting chest X-rays tomorrow, and I thought I could bring this up, and people would give me some sympathy, and then you come in with the whole hot sauce thing. Oh, and then this whole thing with the guy turning down the role, and I think about that industrial, that industrial Honda commercial that I was offered to audition with 10,000 other guys for that look like me, and I think, man, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this because I have. But yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope I am tomorrow.
Well, that answers my question. So,
So Spider-Man, I'd like to see the Spider-Man. I
Okay.
didn't. My wife and I didn't get to do anything.
All
My
right.
kids went to Oregon for 2 weeks. I got sick,
That's
and we
good.
didn't get to party like we wanted to. And see, we were going to go. It's like when we can go to a movie without
Yeah.
paying a babysitter, which we can't afford.
That's all right. Sometimes yes or no will do. But, you know.
So anyway, Ken, let me bring up a point about. No, go ahead, Ken. You want to keep the show going, or should we talk about?
You're going to have some time. Grace, you just took your folks to see Spider-Man Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
So you just saw this movie.
I just saw this
Did you
movie.
enjoy this picture?
I did.
So that's a question mark. So the news that the writers and the director are negotiating to come back, is that something that excites you?
Yeah, I mean, this was a very well-crafted film. I have said this so much. I want everything to be dark, broody Fincher. I want fucking everything to be that way. Shut the fuck up, Copster. So this was very like Marvel-y for me. You know, he's a younger Spider-Man.
How does that go again?
It's this. He was very much like 15-year-old Peter Parker. Like I preferred, Andrew Garfield.
So you like Spider-Man 3? That old angsty emo crap.
No,
Is
no.
that-
Oh my God, with
is that-
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Spider-Man?
Oh, you're talking about the second one.
I was talking about darker,
In general.
Garfield.
darker
Yeah.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
There was like this
storytelling.
whole thing going on with the CIA, like his dad in the CIA, or possibly, or being a spy or something.
Yeah,
you
I
like
just-
that?
This was more of a.
So you-
This was the demographic for this felt younger.
Yeah.
I think you're
Which
right about
it's,
that.
I think
it's
that was
not
on
my
purpose.
jam.
What about this news rookie? The
Yeah, no,
team's
it
back
definitely
together.
was.
Yeah, I'm happy. I think this is the kind of Spider-Man is this kind of character. He's playful,
Yeah.
he's sarcastic, he's fun, he's still young at heart. Even when he gets older, even when he deals with these traumatic things in his life, he still plays it with this kind of young spirit inside, young soul. Even if you read Spider-Man Reign, which is essentially Dark Knight Returns in the Spider-Man universe, he's still sarcastic, still acting young, even though he's like in his 80s in the book or 70s in the book. That's just his character. So I think this is the best Spider-Man they've ever done that perfectly captures this character, because he's not dark and broody. He doesn't have all these kinds of things.
Right. I'm not.
Even
I'm
when
not
McFarlane
saying that I know
draws him.
Spider-Man more than the
not
other
at all.
person. I just, as far as an
That's what
audience
you
member,
said,
strict
Grace, but-
audience member, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, but I'm happy they're coming back because this is
Yeah,
a good
they did a
Holland.
great
Tom
job.
Holland's
It was
great.
very well crafted. Yeah, he was really good.
And if it got through to you and you were wanting more darker stuff, that speaks volumes for
Yeah,
it as
but
well.
I mean, I also didn't go into it being like, oh, this is going to be like Batman Begins. Like, I knew what I was signing up for, and it was
Right.
great. But it's not something I'm going to like go home and watch 10 more
Do
times.
I get any credit for really wanting to see it after
Yeah, no.
I saw the? No, at Comic-Con the year I got to go, I saw the trailer drop for it, and I was excited because it was explained as like the John Hughes, Spider-Man, and I was super excited about that.
I talked to you about that, Brett, because I remember because you were at Hall H and I wasn't, and I was like, "Oh, how was Hall H?" And he's like, "Spider-Man looks awesome."
Yeah, I
and,
was super stoked.
You told me you were very excited to see it, and you didn't see it.
Someday I'll have a lifestyle where I'll be able to do
No.
things fun.
What about Wonder Woman? Did you like Wonder Woman? That wasn't as dark.
That's on my bucket
Thank
list.
you, Grace.
Ooh.
Thank
Not as
you.
much, huh?
Thank you.
I didn't.
Interesting.
I didn't love Wonder Woman.
Interesting.
But it's a strong female character. I love it. You're a woman. You need to love it.
Oh, my bad. I loved it.
Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you don't like mild third acts, right?
Oh, shots fired.
Speaking of that, Ace, this
Yeah.
Spider-Man news. This
Yeah.
team back together. You okay with this?
Yeah, I am okay with this. I mean, obviously, what Grace was saying was obviously right. This Spider-Man felt like it catered
Thank
more
you.
to a younger audience more than any other Spider-Man.
Right.
Like real young. Like you can bring like a
Like
6-year-old
like
for this
13.
movie.
Really?
Okay, well, yeah.
No, I think you can.
I mean, I don't know anything
So
about
I could
kids.
take my 10-year-old.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah, he would love it.
caters very
Little-
young. Who?
Somebody dies, Ace. They get disintegrated right in front. You can't take a 6-year-old to this.
I saw.
Where were you,
I
Rex?
was like 6 when I I saw The Matrix. So.
Whoa.
Well,
just-
it
Whoa.
depends on the kid.
Look out.
Light the fire. Somebody's cool.
no, I'm just saying violence is okay. That's
there it
all I'm
is.
saying.
Oh, violence is great. Yeah, I saw Starship Troopers when I was
there you
like
go.
6
See?
I
years
saw
old.
Dame
He's
Judi
cool
Dench
too,
in
Josh.
Excalibur when I was 6.
There you go.
She's not in the
See, I'm not the only cool.
It's Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, yeah.
Damn it, Sheridan.
Oh, God.
Well, who did these? They
God
wrote
damn it, I tried
something,
so hard.
They wrote something beforehand, right, Ken?
They wrote once get the story
something
back up.
popular.
Yeah,
like
that-
a comedy franchise.
they wrote the song "Popular" by Nerf Herder. No, not a surf.
They wrote the Vacation movie,
sorry.
which wasn't.
Yes, correct.
Yes,
It was
correct.
that movie they wrote.
Right,
Popular.
right.
So it's hit or miss with these guys. I mean, they can make Spider-Man
wanna be
Homecoming, but Vacation wasn't.
How we doing, Mark?
I think you guys are doing. I'm so entertained. This is really bringing peace to my soul. My lips are still really on fire, but I think whenever you're talking about like a Marvel property like this, I look at this news that they're going to re-sign Watt or the director, and I'm like, okay, well that's kind of like Greg Popovich hiring a new assistant or the same assistant coach. It's like Marvel's still the one, Kevin Feige and Marvel's still the one that are like driving this ship. So when you bring in a new director, sometimes if that's Spielberg and he has control over everything, with Marvel it's like he's going to come in, he's going to direct, but he's going to be told these are the scenes that we need here. So I think that's what you're signing up for, is being an assistant coach. You're still not the lead dog with Marvel, which is not a detriment to watch it. It's just like I think that's the way that they want to run their operation.
Did they announce that Watts was coming back for?
He's in negotiations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
in negotiations.
Yeah.
Sure. Here's something that'll perk you up, Mark. Maybe send you on the road to recovery. Is this Top Gun 2 movie that's been talked about for decades? Once again in the news that we're looking like we actually get a new writer to kind of pick up where Justin Marks was writing, and we maybe even have a return date, July 12th, 2019. What you think about that?
I mean, I feel like that's 5 days after my birthday, and what a better present to have than Tom Cruise being back. I felt a little bit like Tom Cruise on the set of Mission Impossible 7 today, or whatever Mission Impossible it is, because like we just had to stop cameras. But I am very excited about Top Gun 2. I do obviously worry about the nature of the director is the scariest thing to me, because Joseph Kosinski did Oblivion, which I didn't like, and he did a couple other projects that I was like kind of lukewarm on. But if Tom Cruise thinks he can do Maverick well, I trust Tom Cruise, especially with a property that we care about. But look, the bottom line is, even if this movie isn't good, it's not going to change Top Gun for me. It's going to do nothing to affect that movie. That movie is, I'm always going to hold that at a special place in my heart.
I've always been under the impression that if like the reboot sequel or the 25-year later sequel, a.k.a. Dumb and Dumber 2, a.k.a. Zoolander 2, a.k.a. Vacation, all these movies, if they suck, it's like can't wait to go back and watch the original, right? Like it never sours the original
With
property.
the exception of, have you seen Zoolander 2?
It's horrendous.
It made me not like the first Zoolander
Yeah, I just
more.
sold mine back. My copy of Zoolander. Sold it.
Well, that's because you had 94 dusty copies of Rolling Stone on top of your Zoolander.
You've been talking to my girlfriend lately? Is that what's going on?
I've been to your apartment recently. You're like, look at all my tubs of dust that I've collected.
So who's pulled off the 20-year later sequel though? Like who's
nobody has.
I got one name. Paul Newman and a young Tom Cruise. When they did a remake to The Hustler, and they did The Color of Money.
Okay.
And I think that was Scorsese, right? And so I think that's as close as you, and that wasn't as good as The Hustler, but I think that's a pretty good example that you can revisit that source material. And because Tom Cruise was like the young hotshot then, and now we already have a role carved out for him, that would be like Tom Skerritt's Viper, where now Tom Cruise is the guy teaching the young bucks. Val Kilmer can be Michael Ironside's Jester.
Right.
Here's the one thing that I would please beg of anybody in Top Gun.
Jai Courtney.
We'll be okay with that. He could play Wolfman's kid. I don't want them to change, because sometimes with like the Footloose one, which I thought Craig Brew did a good job, they updated the Footloose song to like be like more modern times. Do not touch that guitar solo.
Do not.
Good
Do not
God, if you touch
that
it,
guitar.
Now let me.
I will throw hot sauce in your eyeballs.
Okay,
Oh
no.
my God.
Easy there.
Wow.
Whoa, come on.
Before we go to break, Grace, you were talking earlier about Your Kind of Man, which is not so much Efron as it is more of The Rock. The Top Gun, we got shirtless volleyball players. You okay with this
Grease
movie?
them up.
Do you need to see what happens 30 years later to those guys on the beach playing volleyball?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all know that I prefer an older gentleman, so I'm fine with them being 30 years older.
So if it's like Anthony Edwards, is that character still alive?
Anthony
That's a spoiler alert, because Chris
Throw it
and
up,
I,
Cody.
I remember Chris and I were talking about Top Gun in a review we did, and like this was like 2011, and I mentioned the character Goose and maybe the fate that befalls him. And we got so many comments like, "How could you spoil that movie?" And I was like, nobody.
You know what? I just had that with our good friend Jeremy Johns, who's rewatching Wonder Years. The key is rewatch
I heard you gave away the
and I talked about something
epilogue, yeah.
in the epilogue, and he was like, "You just spoiled it." I was like, "The show ended in 1993."
I mean, you bring up 1993 when we did that Jurassic Park screening last night for Collider, which, by the way, thank you all you fans for showing up. It was sold out. There were maybe 5 or 6 people in there that clapped, but they weren't trying to be funny. They legitimately had not seen Jurassic Park yet, and so it's like, wow. Well, but what a cool way to see a movie like that for the first time.
That's another one too. Jurassic World. I know quality-wise, but money-wise, it killed.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and it's a great way to like reintroduce the franchise to people who are younger, like people who are like born in the '90s, who are like Jurassic World, and people are like, well, yeah, Jurassic Park, and they're like, what's that? And then they can rewatch it.
The movie still holds
for the
up, man.
first time.
That 4K print was nice.
You know how hard it is to get sand off your body when you have like oil or lotion? Like if they're diving in that sand, that is like a lot. That is a lot to get rid of.
A lot of things.
That wasn't random at all.
Just saying. I'm just talking about.
You talking about the volleyball?
I'm just talking about hot sauce and sand on bodies.
You talking about this volleyball scene?
Yeah, it's really hard to get sand out of an oiled body.
You went Jurassic Park to Top Gun.
All right.
Well, he did take a shower.
Don't ever play volleyball on the beach in jeans. I don't know what Maverick was thinking. He had a date with McGillis in like 20 minutes. Never ever try that, kids.
Yeah. Well, all right. That went exactly where I needed it to go, and I'm glad.
Welcome, Ken.
All right. I don't know. Are you guys going to stick around for a bit? Ellis might not be able to move. Might not be.
I'm pretty comfortably numb right now. So
all right.
We'll see how it goes.
On the other side of this break, we're going to take your phone calls. That's right. Phone lines will be open. We're going to put that number up. You can take a screenshot.
Screenshot that shit.
Certify mail it to yourself. And just kind of remember, we're going to dive into some things. We're going to talk Game of Thrones. We're going to have fun playing the game. And also, the littlest of evils.
Oh no!
Might fall upon Schmoes now. We'll see you guys after the break.
Good evening, Schmoville. Welcome to the very first break of tonight's show. In tonight's game, we've got whoever's on the panel tonight, and Cody switching the buttons. Beardo is doing something with audio, is probably messing it up. RB3 looking good. Ace, hey, man. All those things out there today on today's show. Hope you're enjoying everything, and be sure to check out all these programmings on SK+. Be sure to subscribe to that channel in our Schmoes Know iTunes feed, and check out all the other shows like The Wanger Show, the best show on that network. All right, here are the breaks.
Here at Podcast One, we love hearing from you. We read every tweet and comment you send our way, so don't miss your chance to take our summer listener survey. Just go to podcastone.com and click on the survey banner, or go to podcastone.com/mysurvey. It only takes a few minutes, and it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact on your favorite shows. Tell us how you really feel, so we can get to know you better. We value your thoughts and participation, so check out the survey at podcastone.com/mysurvey, or click on the survey banner on podcastone.com.
There's a bridge in the song where he goes high, and I couldn't hit it, so I have to go very low because my voice was changing. And so if you go back and watch, when he sings the middle part of the song, it's supposed to be this beautiful, like up in the octaves and singing. I couldn't hit that, so I would go very low, so low that you couldn't hear me.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, and so.
Did you ever end up dating the girl?
Nah, never did.
No.
Met another girl that in the children's theater.
That's the thing, right? That you have to go to the theater groups to meet girls, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean, that's how it started. That girl that I did have the crush on, she did end up becoming one of my dearest friends, high school, all that stuff. Still keep in touch with her to that day.
Did you ever like perform in plays with her?
Yeah, we were all in plays, and then a couple years later, I got hooked. I did Wizard of Oz, and then I stuck around and we did Sound of Music, and then we did Grease, and then when I did Grease, I was a sophomore in high school by this time, and that's where I met my high school girlfriend that was then, she was with me until I was a sophomore. And
I want to add on to the point where you were talking about not putting on, it wasn't a show, you really were taking your time. Obviously you wouldn't want to stress out your partner by putting on something that he wasn't aware, because you guys can't confer. So it's not like he knows it's a game. He's taking it just as seriously, and he's probably getting stressed thinking you don't know the answer. So it makes sense as to why would you endanger your victory by stressing out your partner.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's one of those things like this. Okay, if you look at the Los Angeles Lakers 5 championships in the 1980s, and you know that they've won 5 championships, and you're a basketball nut, and you know that of the 9 years that you can, I guess the 10 years if you're going to put 80 that you can keep in question, you know for a fact that 5 of them belong to the Lakers, and 3 of them belong to the Celtics. So there's only 2 years that aren't Lakers or Celtics. That's very confusing.
Inside scoop, I had like a really bad day and was like crying. I was
man.
like, just
Coolio made you cry?
Coolio made me
Son
cry,
of a
you
bitch.
guys. I was like in my car losing it, but I got into the Avengers screening, like the hardest screening to get into, so it's like I gotta go. And I didn't recognize anybody at Warner Brothers. It was not my usual crowd. It was not you guys on both sides of me. And I loved when the movie still rocks you to the point where it changes your day in that state of mind. It's effing awesome.
Yeah, and again, like I said, the holes. It doesn't bother me at all. Just those are one of the things, But I wanted to go to the Twitter page, and someone there's great quotes in it too, and that was the thing we had mentioned that one of the notes that Michael Bay should take from Joss Whedon, by the way, is that you can add humor into a movie like this and not make it just suck you out of it. Like in Transformers 3, the comedy is so bad. It's like you have to.
There's comedy.
Thank you. Exactly. It stinks.
Right.
And in this, all the comedy and the lines, they just hit you at the right moment. Even when there's a serious, there was a serious moment and the line comes, you're like, okay, I deal with it. And there was one line that right now, one of the lines that someone just tweeted us was from Mike at, was it Mike Town?
Hi, Mike Town.
Best quote was, "He's killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted." You know what I mean?
Yes. Thor. Well, Thor.
Yeah.
I thought, by the way, I don't think he's like a funny guy. He dropped some great lines. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Schmoes No Show. We are here. We are all one big, giant, happy family for now. But we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones Season 7 wrapped up this past week with the highest watch episode in the show's history. So we got the questions here. We also got some nice stuff sent to us from our friends at HBO. We got some Game of Thrones wine and beer and a Targaryen banner, which is that's cool, man. You can hang that above your car. It's like a Laker flag. It'd be cool. And joining us for the discussion is someone who has not been on the show for a while. JTE.
I don't know where to look. I don't know how to move my hands or body.
That's exactly right. What you're doing is exactly right.
I don't know. Wow.
The little
I don't know
evil.
what I'm doing.
Littlest of evils.
man?
How are you,
I
my
like
friend?
this. I feel like this is a Game of Thrones table.
It is. It's like the painted table.
Hello.
Cougar's just giving you
Josh is giving you a slow clap.
big slow
This
clap.
feels like that table where they're like planning their maneuvers with the statues, on the show.
The painted table.
It's the painted table.
Yeah,
Is that literally what's called the painted
Yep,
table?
painted table.
Come on, Jay or whatever his name is. That's a lazy table.
JJ right off the bat.
JJR,
Right off the bat.
whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
right off the bat.
It is. It's
What a
JJR.
lazy-
That's his name. Yep.
It's called a painted table? That's like the
painted
laziest
table.
thing I ever heard.
JJR Martin.
All
What
right.
is it painted?
I was going to
Black?
argue with Ace, but I'm going to argue with you.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, call it like the Dragonstone table or something.
Oh, that's
See?
better.
That's-
Wait,
That's
it's better
better.
than a
That's
painted
way
You
table.
should
better.
totally write the show.
The
dude.
castle's named Dragonstone. You can't name one table Dragonstone.
The table of Dragonstone?
The table of
That's
Dragonstone.
How about the
Wait,
serpent table? Or
The best
something?
part, the guy who mispronounces everything is telling us how it should be said in Game of Thrones.
You know what? I'm not the best myself at saying names, as I've learned on the Schmodown. So you know what? JT,
that's
welcome
true.
back. It's good to
Dude,
have
it's
you
good to
here.
be back, man.
You've been out doing things.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to get around.
Work's
we understand
picked
that.
up. It's hard for me to get over here. I am working Beverly Hills, so it's kind of a trek over here. But I'm gonna try to make it more as much as I can, as long as my schedule allows it.
Always nice to have you. Now, you watch all of Game of Thrones
Yes.
this year, right? You're a big
Of course.
fan. We're all fans here. I think the only fan not here is Cody. Cody still has not
What?
seen more than 2 episodes, but that's all
What?
right.
But I've spoiled every episode the last
Yeah.
two
He
seasons
knows
where I'm on
everything.
TV
He
Talk.
knows.
He says it sounds cool.
So the question...
That's not the same.
It's not the same. The question at hand is, was Season 7 satisfied? Was it where did it come down? And I'll start with you, John. I got a chance to co-host with you on Thrones Talk this year. We did had a lot of fun. It
was my pleasure.
The finale, we had 10,000 people watching us live.
Yeah.
A lot of fun doing that.
Congrats.
This season for you, where did it hit?
I enjoyed this season a lot for the frame in which they put it in, which is 7 episodes. So you couldn't ask for a 10 or 12 episode approach to a 7-episode season. So I enjoyed the pace that they went at. Did I have some issues with some of the storylines? A couple of storylines I did, but overall, so much happened at this season that would have normally gotten these incredible reveals that were done so casually that I kind of like that. Like in real life. In real life, sometimes the shocks come when you least expect it. You know, you're just sitting there working, all of a sudden, one of the co-hosts is dying to death. You know, with
Dying
hot
of
sauce.
death.
Dying of death from hot sauce. So
The
you
number
never
one
know.
cause of death, dying.
So, these kinds of things happen. So for me, I absolutely enjoyed it very much, and it was great to do the show and explore the world even more. And we had called back to like the centuries of history that were involved in Game of Thrones. That was great. And then, you know, I feel like Emilia Clarke, Kit Harington, all just kind of knocked it out of the park in terms of acting, and especially Lena Headey and Peter Dinklage. Both of them just killed it this season. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the season. We did barrel through a bunch of stuff, but in the end, I think it was worth it because us as fans have been waiting for these answers for so long to finally get them instead of having something like Lost that stumbles to the end.
Whoa!
I think this is a better situation.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Copster.
No, I'm just saying, don't diss Lost. I like Lost.
Okay.
It stumbled a little bit
Now,
to the end.
another perspective is Grace of here. I know you had watched the show before. You had maybe checked in and out of it, but you binged that MFer all the way up into season 7 and then caught up with us.
Wow.
So your perspective might be different, where someone like John or myself or JT have been waiting 6-7 years for solutions, or if you're a book reader going back to the 90s, 20 years, you got it all in one kind of compact thing. How did this season compare to the others?
I mean, I kind of liked it, kind of like what you're saying. It was kind of, because we're so used to these big, long storylines forever. Like, it took them so many seasons to, like, hook up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of nice to have a season where they, like, episode 2, they were just like, here it all is, and you were like, oh my God. It was kind of refreshing because it did kind of catch you off guard. But yeah, binge watching Game of Thrones is kind of like a full-time job, and I'm tired, but now I'm a big nerd like all you guys, and
you hate being a nerd.
I don't hate being a nerd. I didn't expect to be this person.
Why do you have me to thank for that?
Because you're the one who made me watch it.
Well, yeah. Well, I wanted to, bring you into the fold.
It was
Nobody
nice to
should
watch
have
it.
gotten you to. Nobody should have made you watch
Good
it.
point.
You should have watched.
I did watch it when Homegirl had the demon baby. I was like, okay, I got to take a step back from this. That's a lot for me to handle. I watched it with Ken because there's so many things going on. It's so dense, and I needed somebody to kind of like Gandalf me through this monstrosity because there's so much
he's
going
not
on.
in the show though.
Shit, I'm on it. No, but I needed somebody to be like, with the staff with the light, being like, okay, well, this is this guy. They're cousins. They hooked up, twincest, all the things. I have a lot of questions.
And
there are spoilers.
Your favorite moment of
Spoilers.
this season? Yeah. And by the way, occasionally we're going to try not to spoil it, but that's rather impossible when you're having a discussion. But we'll try to be respectful of that. But if you haven't watched Game of Thrones and you're still planning on it, just listen and take it all in. You, more than anyone that I know, are tremendously happy the fact that aunt and nephew banged it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Why is
Thank you,
this?
Copster.
You're welcome.
Okay, I've said this a lot on TV Talk. I didn't create this world. I'm just supportive of the hot people in it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's these two characters who have been through so much, and they finally have found somebody who, granted, might be a relative, but
is.
Okay, just simmer down. But they're equals, and we've seen them both go through so many really, really hard things. She's lost her husband, she's lost her child, like all this crazy shit. Jon Snow's had a real hard time since day one, and they finally found somebody who can understand that, can have empathy for that, and who is an equal, and they're hot.
Right.
And I loved it, and I'm not sorry.
Well, I have a question real quick, Ken.
About the man
Well,
bun?
what does Kit Harington have that Zac Efron doesn't have?
Ooh.
These are
Long
similar.
hair.
These are similar
Fair
body
question.
types.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, the long hair.
I've got it.
And darker hair.
Kit Harington
And
has
facial
died
hair.
and come back. Has Zac Efron done
Boom.
that? High School Musical? Anybody?
Wait. He went back in time from as that movie.
So, 17 again. Oh,
wow. RB3 jumped up.
coming in so hot.
RB3.
All right, he's a fan.
JTE, your thoughts overall on season 7?
Overall, I think we're finally getting to the finish line.
Yeah.
And when
Solutions.
I know. I'm just saying. So when that was happening, you're like, okay, this is the biggest thing about Lost. You're like, I want it to start making sense.
Yeah.
I want things to be like what I want it to be.
Yeah.
So as I was watching this, there was things where I was like, yes, I didn't see this coming. That's a cool. Oh, I can see where this is go. But then there were some things where I was like, honestly, it's bringing the White Walker back to Cersei. I kind of was on board with the plan from the get-go.
It was a stupid plan.
Like, it was kind of a stupid plan. So, like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, this doesn't feel like Game of Thrones. This is not something I would have seen in, like, season 3 of Game of Thrones.
Why?
But I just feel like it was more about, like, under-the-table kind of, like, deals, backstabbing.
Right.
And I think because it's region ending, we're getting this much larger scale picture.
Yeah.
And I think the show's changed a little bit. It's become more of this huge fantasy, action adventure. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I understand some people being like, you're smarter than this. This is not exactly what I expect.
I think it has to change, though, right? I mean, because it is coming to an end.
Well, it has
That's
to.
what I'm saying.
If,
Yeah,
if it was something that you expected, what's exciting about that? You know?
Well, I think we're getting some of the things we're getting is what we expect.
It's
I was
so
gonna
hard
say
to-
that.
I'm
It's kind of
sorry.
what we
I
expected.
think the delivery is unexpected.
Well, that's when I heard a lot of people say I was underwhelmed by a lot of this stuff. And then,
I
well,
wasn't
why are you
saying
under?
it's
No, I'm not saying you are.
underwhelmed.
Why are you underwhelmed? Well, I knew the wall was going to come down.
Yeah.
I knew. Well, of course you did, because 3 years ago you were bragging to everyone that you knew the wall was going to come down. Then it came down, and now your expectations were met, and it seems boring because you're so used to shocking deaths and shocking things. And this is the time of solutions. This is the time of solutions.
I'll say this: one of the biggest surprises for me this season, I didn't see coming or never really thought about it, was the Ice Dragon. Them bringing that dragon back, I was like,
yeah, me neither.
boom, you did a Game of Thrones. I did not even think of this. And people
Really?
thought just about everything on this show.
Yeah, they thought about
That's
that,
something
yeah.
I was like, didn't even ever cross my mind. So when it happened, I was like, they still got it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have time to do all the conspiracy things
Yeah,
because I
you
just
just
binged
binged
the
it.
shit out of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I was like, I mean, you can tell, I was literally just screaming the whole time. I was like, no. So but I totally
Right.
didn't see it coming.
Right, she does scream a lot at the TV. Josh, you raised your hand. You had a point. Did you kill Ellis again? Because he's gone.
You had a point. Say it. No, Ken. I
No pressure.
Coming in hot.
I
The
think,
court recognizes Makuga.
I think for me, a lot of the problems that a lot of people had with this season were like, oh, it didn't write this well, the chains in the ocean, and da 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 da. Listen to me. It's Game of Thrones. It's a fantasy world, okay? Now, the last 6 seasons, there's been a ton of setup until now. So now we're complaining about him running. Motherfuckers, we got 7 episodes. We got 7 effing episodes, and then 6.
Yeah, fuckers.
Okay? So we have to wrap this up. This isn't Walking Dead where he's fighting a stabby zombie in a trash pile.
That was cool.
It was cool, but
cool.
it didn't go anywhere. I've been watching Walking Dead for so long. I just want some resolution.
I'm with you, man. I'm still watching Walking Dead. We're the only ones.
So
It's
now
very
that we're
slow.
getting some resolution, now that we're getting an ice dragon, we're getting 2 other dragons, we're getting nephew on niece bang sesh, we're getting all of this, we're getting Baelish fucking cut up, we're getting all of it.
That's right. Fuck him.
Fuck it up. Fuck it up.
You know, Josh
This is like straight out of Compton, not ending with Beats by Dre. It's
shit.
gonna end with Beats by Dre.
I hope-
Easy E gets AIDS, it fucking blows. That's the shit. So the Ice Dragon came and knocked the wall down. It knocked the fucking wall down. It's a fucking Ice Dragon. Fuck.
HBO, please.
You should be yelling. You should be yelling at your TV. Holy shit, this is fucking perfect. What? Sorry.
HBO needs to take that, use as a promo clip for season 8, right there.
Season 8 promo. All right.
I finally vented.
That's-
I had a long day. I took my best friend to the hospital. I've had 2 gin and tonics
okay,
and a little
Josh.
work.
All right. All right. Now, that's not to say I love this season. It was absolutely, next to season 1 might be my favorite season.
Yes.
And season 2.
Cool.
But it's not to say it's perfect. Not to say any season is perfect. And Ace, speaking of not being perfect,
Yep. That's
you've
me.
got
I'm
an
not perfect.
opinion that's maybe not perfect, but I want you to say it.
Well, I mean, again, you know me, Ken. Game
know
of Thrones is my life. It's
your life.
It's what I invest my time in. It's how I spend my Friday nights.
And
I
water.
spend
And
my
water.
Friday nights reading up on Game of Thrones theories because I think that's fun.
That's awesome. That sounds amazing.
We'll get you a girlfriend.
I know.
does.
Criticizing the show.
I'd
for
be 50 grand in the plus if I did what Ace did. Instead, I went to bars and spent my money on Jack Daniels for the last 15 years.
All right.
Sorry, Ace. Go
No,
ahead.
it's okay. So I think people have an issue if you bring up certain things that didn't work for you. Like Roka mentioned it, JT mentioned it. There's certain things that aren't there quality-wise. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to say that this season did feel a little rushed. Which Josh made a good point. They're trying to finish it. Yeah, they're going to be a little rushed, but it did feel rushed. Some storylines didn't pay off the way you wanted to, or didn't work as far as build-up. But overall, it was still an enjoyable season. But there is a decline in quality when it comes to writing, and I think saying that isn't necessarily saying that now Game of Thrones is shit. It's still what I consider one of the greatest shows of all time. However, there is some storylines that didn't work like at all, and we're not good.
What storylines are you talking about?
Arya and Sansa Winterfell storyline was terrible.
I agree.
It was terrible.
Terrible?
It
Did you
is
watch Airwolf in the 80s? That was terrible.
It was,
and that was my favorite
It was
show.
Sand Snakes, Dorne bad. And
Jan
I thought
Michael
the
Vincent.
Sand Snakes and Dorne were bad. The Arya and Sansa, like, oh, I hate you more. Oh, I'm going to cut your face off. Where is this coming from? It felt rushed. It felt clunky. It felt clumsy. The payoff was terrible. Just everything felt
Why did
the
you
most
like the payoff?
I
told you on Twitter, Baelish got exactly what I wanted
Okay,
to get.
so obviously, Littlefinger is my favorite character. So there's that as well. But besides that, I felt like everything leading up to it, whether it be, I saw the bait and switch coming from episode 1 of this season, where they're like, ooh, Sansa's becoming kind of evil. She's quoting Cersei now. She's saying she respects Cersei. Ooh, here comes Arya. What is those looks that she's giving Arya? Now the whole, like, the writers were trying so hard to be like, look at how these girls are fighting. They totally hate each other. And I'm like, no, they don't. They're going to betray Littlefinger. I noticed that since the first episode of the season. And then when it came to the betrayal, taking a character like Littlefinger and shitting so hard on him was so bad for me, because I feel like that's what they did with this character. And I know he's a slimy guy. He's a bad guy. We get it. I know he's
like
a slimy guy. But the thing about Littlefinger is that the reason why you respect him is because he's a very smart character, and he became the stupidest character ever in the last minutes of his life. I just didn't get that. To me, I quoted Jaime Lannister from season 2, when Jaime Lannister, who's not known for being a very smart guy, actually defends himself pretty well against Robb Stark when he's accused of pushing Bran out the window. And he's like, says who? Why couldn't Littlefinger do the same thing? We're going to believe a kid who can see into the future? I get that Bran has convinced Arya and Sansa and Littlefinger that he is the three-eyed raven and he can see things in the past. But since when did he convince the Knights of the Vale? Since when did he convince the Lords of Winterfell? To me, it just felt so clunky from him being like, I deny it. No, wait, it's true. I'm sorry, Sansa, don't kill him. It's like he went there in 10 seconds. I was like, wait, you just denied it, and now you're saying, Sansa, I'm sorry, please forgive me? Like, it felt completely rushed, completely out of place, out of his character. It really felt like the writers were trying so hard to give, and I'm going to say it, fan service moment.
I don't like the term fan service.
No, but it is though, because the thing about
sit in a room and look at Reddit and say, how should we make
I honestly do feel like that though. I do feel
he's
like
clapping. He's
I'm
clapping.
I'm clapping,
He's
man.
fucking clapping.
I honestly,
we know that doesn't happen.
No, but I do feel like they say who are the more popular characters, Sansa and Arya. Everyone loves Arya, and they're gonna cheer so hard when. And yes, I do feel like they did write it for the fans. I did feel like they did make a hard, like, let's cheer moment. Like, that was very specific, written into the episode. It felt like this is for the fans to cheer and to have fun, and that's great. But since when is Game of Thrones a fan service show? I thought it was supposed to be more realistic, realism show, where I mean, what? It's a fantasy show, sure.
No, I agree.
But it's one of those things where
I'm responding to a lot of the stuff Ace is saying. And again, I walked in.
I'm sorry.
And
I love Game of Thrones.
I thought this was Brett to the Future, so I just had all of season 7 spoiled for me. Did we tell everybody we're going to be talking about that? No, I mean, I knew what I was walking into. I need Community right now.
Now you want people to take it.
It was hard, but if you wanted to come into the bathroom earlier,
I did.
I feel like Ace is making really strong points, and again, this is somebody who obviously hasn't seen season 7, but the term fan service to me means that you are doing something to appease the fans at the expense of the natural progression of the characters. And just as somebody who has been a big fan of Littlefinger for all of the seasons, I don't see that guy being outwitted by anybody. Including my favorite character in the show, Arya or Sansa. So I think that Ace does make a valid point, and as far as the show being fantasy, but it does feel very realistic as far as it feels like they're not taking flights of fancy and making uncharacteristic choices of the way the characters are written.
They did this season especially with the Sansa and Arya storyline, and especially with
this is going to be the last season of Lost for me because I never watched that either.
Oh, it's a good season. But hey, can I chime in?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, I actually did like the whole storyline because look.
You know what, can I
okay,
say-
hey, don't give me that, Ace. You're not. Don't act like you're better than me. Okay.
No, I'm not saying that. I just did.
Listen. Wow. I had some of that hot sauce. I'm really freaking out. No. I didn't see that coming.
Too soon.
Shit in the mic. I didn't see it coming. Okay. I like Game of Thrones. I'm a casual viewer. I'm actually going back and rewatching because I want to catch up on everything and try to know all these different things. I don't read up on it. I just watch the episodes as they come, and I honestly didn't know where it was going to go. Does that make me a stupid watcher? Like when they like she turned and was like, "Oh, Baelish, you're the one we're gonna kill." I'm like, "Oh shit, cool." Like,
yeah, me too.
There was a legitimate point where the Arya was going to kill her sister.
Well, I think this is a great point you bring up, Cobster, because like you said yourself, you're a casual observer. So as a casual observer, you're not bringing what the more passionate fans like Ace do to the show.
This is the shit I get on YouTube all the time. You're a casual fan, so you can't appreciate the show.
I didn't say that at all, Mark. Why don't you not cut me off for a second? What I'm saying is that
it's a show. It's a show.
What I'm saying is that
the man was in the hospital today.
I want to hear this point.
I didn't put in that.
Shut the fuck up!
What I'm saying is, though, as a casual observer, you're able to not invest in what, like being betrayed or disappointed because you're just enjoying the show as it goes along, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay.
You make a fair point.
What I'm saying, though, but for people like Ace who are massive addicts, and Ken and I have been added on Twitter and on YouTube about this, like people get super crazy, upset and obsessed about this show at levels that I've never seen on almost any show this side of The Sopranos.
Oh no!
I
know. I did a reaction to the teaser for this thing, and I said one little thing, and I'm like, I'm never talking about. I'm talking about Game of Thrones now, but I never want to do it again.
Right. So, but the people who get crazy about it are why they're upset with the Sansa, and I understand the upset because I didn't like it either, the storyline, because I thought it was a little too easy how it all played out. And I do agree with Ace to a degree that they did undercut Littlefinger's character, but I also think there's no way they wouldn't have outwitted Littlefinger because of all that they'd experienced in the 6 years that they were not at Winterfell separately on their storylines. They would have found a way to get at him. My problem was it was a bit too contrived. It felt like a CW plot line in an HBO show. That was my only issue with it. But everything else this season worked like crazy for me. But that storyline, I agree with Ace to a degree.
I agree. To be completely transparent again, I liked this season. I liked everything they did. Again, it was a little rushed, but the only storyline I didn't like, everything else I liked. I liked Jon. I liked the dragons. I loved Ice Dragon. Like that all played really well.
Ice
with me.
dragons?
Oops. Oops. Hashtag spoilers.
No, dude, I came in here. You spoiled the shit out of this for me.
But that was the only storyline that I didn't connect with, and I really felt like they betrayed Littlefinger's character for just to please Arya and Sansa fans.
Yeah, well.
Can I counter real quick on
the
Sansa Arya storyline? You gotta. The one thing I look at Littlefinger Baelish about is that he is always blinded by his love for the Starks, not the Eyrie, none of those punks. Not the crazy woman with the nipple thing, right?
Oh yeah, the mom.
The sister, right?
The sister, yeah.
Oh God, I'd
he
totally
loved
blocked her out.
Catelyn Stark and would do anything for her, switch sides, all that stuff. He was so in love with Sansa Stark that he was blind to the whole thing.
Ooh,
he
I
was
like
just
that.
in her ear, and he didn't trust. He didn't trust Arya. He didn't really care. He was just trying to play a side for Sansa, not thinking that Sansa would betray him because he loved her so much. I've loved girls that have cheated on me for months, and I'd be like, she didn't do that. It's fine. Fucking Littlefinger just wasn't paying enough attention because he was finally in Winterfell. He finally was on the right side of things. He didn't need to play 3 or 4 different sides. All he was trying to do was to get Sansa to be Sansa to kill Arya so that she would be Lady of Winterfell, yada, yada, yada. Get another opponent of his out of the way, blinded by the fact that Arya was still, rightly so, pissed about the Ramsay Bolton thing.
Blinded
She'd never let it
by
die.
the light.
That is I totally agree with everything you just said, 100%. I wish the show conveyed that a little bit better.
Okay.
That's but
I think
when
that's
you
the biggest complaint.
Yeah, but when you say that, that makes like when you said that, I was like, oh my god, that makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
I just don't feel like the show completely displayed that. They would have done a few more scenes of him and her. Of like, I don't know how they would have done it, but I would have liked for them to show that.
This is the best
I think that was the
conversation
best
I've
way out.
ever seen on Schmoes. No lie.
Well, they
the
also had
worst
this.
parts about this discussion were when I was talking. Like, this is literally, this should be a torch passing moment. I mean, this is really great stuff because I buy into everybody's argument here. I buy into the fact that Littlefinger, his normal character, wouldn't do that. I also buy into Josh being like, well, he was so blinded by the love for the Stark ladies that women be shopping.
Sure. Yeah, and people are tweeting, but I already knew this. They cut this scene where Bran sits Sansa down and says, "Here's what happened.
Yep.
Here's everything that's going on." That
They
explains.
cut that scene?
I don't know
cut
why
the
they
scene.
cut that. Why would you cut
I think it was tension. I think the same way, like I think you needed to not show Dany flying off to north of the wall because that took out the tension of that fight. That was my bigger problem with the season. That episode, episode 6, was that little tension was gone. So that may or may not have helped. I guess so. I understand overall what Ace is saying here. I just think that's exactly what Littlefinger should have got and what he deserved.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely think he died like Ned with the finality and the suddenness of an executioner's blade, and he died like Cat, who he put there. And I was satisfied in that regard, where the end was. That's what
the reason he got so far is he had no weaknesses. He didn't care about anybody.
Yeah.
Like Makuga pointed out, the downfall was the one thing he cared about.
He didn't take the time to learn who Arya was, and that's what triggered Sansa, I think, to be like he was wrong. Now, as far as the season being rushed, the 7 episodes, which was not money, the producers felt they had. They only needed 70 hours to tell their story, and they got 73. That includes the 6 next year.
Okay.
6 next year.
Yeah. Sex next. Did I hear sex next year?
Sex scene.
We're talking about sex scenes?
Well, there's definitely sex scenes.
There's going to be sex next year. Stay tuned.
And my argument, a lot of people keep saying, and without a doubt, the pacing was different. They warned us going into this.
Yeah.
This is going to move faster than you know. The map aficionados, of which I am, there's a map. I have all the maps in my books right now. Let go of that. Because I didn't want 3 weeks of Davos and John shitting on a boat again. I didn't need to worry about how long it took to march people down. I don't care how fast the Raven
Did they
flies.
do the 24, like the show 24 when Jack Bauer, like, I would prefer to see Jack Bauer get from Valencia to Escondido quicker than just to have him sit on the 5.
Best 24 stuff. He's like, yo, I got to get from Valencia to Santa Monica in 9 minutes. You're like, good luck with that.
But I also think that the pacing had to do with that. The journey wasn't important this time. It was the destination where we were so used to the journey being the story.
Right.
Correct.
And that's just a change for us. Also, let's not forget, and this is where where I will look at Ace and say I understand what you're saying, because George R.R. Martin has not shared too much with him post book 5. He said, "Here's how. Get there yourself." I'll bet you Baelish doesn't die this way in the book.
I hope not.
I bet you he doesn't, and I bet you they don't go north of the wall to kidnap a zombie. I bet you they don't.
Yeah, it didn't feel very good.
Does he not consult? Does he not come in and go, meow?
But is George? Could he also be the guy now who is like, he has the advantage of, if he wants to, go on the Reddit threads and see what the reaction to these stories that have aired is, and be like, oh, here's how I'm going to do it different. Like, is that fair of him to do?
It's not fair, but it's possible. I wouldn't put it. I don't think he's doing that, but he's. There's got to be something, because he has held back enough, and he takes a long time. The first book came out in 1996. Yeah. So he takes a long time. But I think there was a distance. He'll argue he's still the executive producer, but there's a little distance. He used to write an episode a year. He used to consult more, and things started happening where he started pulling back from the show. There's been changes from episode 1, season 1. That were different from the books, but they started to really diverge in season 4, and I think he's pulled back a little bit, to kind of be like, "Ha."
My thing with that is, do you feel like, because personally I do, and it's slight, but it's there. It's a slight quality drop the further they get away from the books. The last book they had, the other seasons so far, whether it be the Sand Snake storyline, whether it be Arya's training. With the many-faced god, it just, those storylines weren't as good, and it's the stuff that's more away from the books, because the Dorne stuff, for example, was terrible.
Yeah, the Dorne stuff.
Whereas in the books, it's great. At least I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, but my argument, and this sounds like a cop out, so this isn't to you, Ace, personally, but again, this is better than anything probably on movies or TV in 30 years.
It's still
and it goes
great
weekly.
show.
So
Yeah.
that's why I also I get tired of fandoms and Star Wars and Game of Thrones now, where Rogue One was fan service. No, it's a great story that fit in perfectly to the time period. If you don't understand the prequels, that's on you. There's so much stuff to dig into this stuff. I think we have created this monster called media discussion that is not allowing us, not you, Ace. You enjoy it, but some people just I'm seeing people turn on this show.
No.
That it upsets me because it's like, watch Knight Rider.
Yeah, but
and tell me that this isn't the best thing.
People should not turn on this show. This show is still, I think, one of the best things on TV.
All right.
Period.
Well, let's have some Game of Thrones wine.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Ace.
I think
What you got?
it speaks to Roka's point earlier that you can say a buzz term now, like fan service or SJW or Mary Sue or MacGuffin, and just say it. And then that just triggers people to get so defensive. And people use those terms, and they just love lobbing them around because it's nice and it's compact, and it fits in a nice little 140-character statement that just is now out there in the world.
It's also why I think politics is now porn because of Twitter, because you don't need, you can just blah and
there's a pretty famous politician doing a lot of tweeting.
Yeah,
right now,
absolutely.
I mean, I'll say this. You're talking about fan service, and we're talking about another HBO show. If you wanted a fan service done in Sopranos, you wouldn't have had anything in seasons 4, 5, and the final season because there was no fan service of the first 2 seasons. Fan service, and it was incredible. That was great mafia television. By the end, they had a whole episode about Bobby Bacala arguing with Janice over a baked ziti, and the finale is still the hands down most controversial finale because you got nothing.
Is that because they cut a Journey
I think
song
it's
off?
because of Journey, right? That's might have been.
By the way, speaking of Journey, I love the shot of Cobster. He looks like a keyboardist for Journey with like multiple laptops up there like, at the same time.
He does. He
Here
just
we
leaves the mustache
stand.
up. All right, guys, that's our discussion on Game of Thrones Season 7. A lot more to have, I'm
That
sure.
was really good. You guys all did a great job.
It's you guys. It's
Be
you
nice,
guys, not
be
us.
nice on Twitter.
Yeah,
Don't
please.
add us, bro.
Please.
All right?
I've
Don't
already
add
gotten a lot of hate.
Hashtag follow back.
That's that. Hey, and as Mark Ellis mentioned earlier, preseason football's here for the NFL. College is back. And that means fantasy football fans.
Oh,
the wait
segue.
is nearly over. Football is back, which means FanDuel is back. FanDuel is fantasy football for everyday fans. New contests starting every week. No busted seasons. Something for everyone. Lots of contests to choose from. And it starts just at $1. Just pick a contest, choose your team, and watch your score in real time. The games are getting more exciting. We got a lot. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. I'm going to stand behind Jay Cutler. I don't know why, but we're going to do it. I don't know if I'll draft him, but if I go on FanDuel, I'll have that option there. And, hey, maybe we should get a Schmoes like listener league going there where you can draft JT's quarterback. What's his name? Steve Grogan? Good. He's great. All right. Over 2.5 million players have won a cash prize playing fantasy sports on FanDuel. Sign up today. Go to FanDuel.com. Click the Join Now button and use the code SCHMOES. New users get free entry into the NFL Sunday Million with over $1 million in cash prizes when you make your first deposit on FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com and sign up with the promo code SCHMOES.
Hot tip, Jamison Crowder. I'm telling you, man. He's gonna get the Redskins. Maybe go 1-15. Jamison Crowder's gonna have a big year.
Possession receiver.
It's that time.
Totally.
Cobster, I want to bring in our champion of the people here.
Yes.
JT, sit down. Brett Sheridan. Where are we going to put him? Let's produce on the fly.
Ace, it cool if we swap out? I don't care. All right, cool. We
I thought
swap
Ace
you
did
out.
a great job.
Ace,
on
great
this.
work, bud.
That's the worst way to go in, bro.
I think
That
Ace
is
should watch
literally
more shows
Hands,
so we can hear
you
more
just
of Ace
crossed
talk
across
about them.
4 cameras. You can see Brett's acting knowledge here. Which camera do I cross in front of?
All right, Brett. You got a limited time here. So let's fucking go.
See the YouTube comments? What's with the limited time?
You don't read the comments, dude.
Oh, I don't. But
not
I want
supposed
to bring something up. There was a comment about, like, why's Mark got to cut off? You know, Mark can cut me off every goddamn second if he wants to. It's his show.
Hey, Brett. No, wait. Was that a comment on YouTube that I?
No. There's this YouTube comment about, like, Mark cutting me off at 2 minutes in the last one. I'm like, Mark and Christian, they can fucking throw me in a trash can if they want to. They let me come into this thing like as their buddy and like whatever. I don't don't make comments like that. That makes me mad.
Yeah, but no, this isn't Russia. Is this Russia? This isn't Russia. Like
You're just trying to dial it in.
If there is people, including me or Christian, cutting you off, I don't want that to be a negative. When I cut you off, it's like I'm trying to further the action a little bit. But if you feel like I'm doing it too much, then I can pull back. I can learn from my mistakes.
I don't think you are. I think you're just trying to dial in my crazy.
That's what I thought I was doing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I'm not a good. I don't make good talk well. So here we go. We're 30 minutes into my segment, and I've not talked about nothing about the film.
Did you introduce your graphic?
Oh yeah, let's hit that graphic.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Oh, good. Wow,
I love this music.
What are you looking at?
First of all, I saw the whole last season of Game of Thrones, and you guys didn't let me talk. Finally, you put me on when I didn't know any of the movies. Game of Thrones, go to the hall.
What's the movie you're talking about?
The movie I'm talking about is listen, Copster, this rivalry.
Hey, we don't like each other. Let's fucking go, man.
Let's go
Come on.
fisticuffs. Black Swan is the film. Yay! 2010 film. Look at
nice.
Oh, you look at Natalie. What's her name?
Portman.
No,
Padme.
no. This. I know her name is Natalie Portman. Here's the thing. Right before we came on here, I was sitting with Christian. We were messing around, and I said, "Hey, why don't you put me on a Schmodown?" And he brings up like this trivia app, and we're going along, and I'm going through stuff, and he goes, "Oh, here we go. You just watched this film. What was Natalie Portman's character's name in The Black Swan?" And I did not know, and I watched it last night. So that's why, folks at home, why I'll never do a Schmodown. So back to the film, Roka. Roka's been asking, like, why is this even a segment anymore?
No, it's not true at all.
You got the Natalie Portman. You got the Mila Kunis. The story is about ballet dancers, and one in particular, Natalie Portman's character, very driven to be perfect. Probably something you didn't know about me, I love dancing. No joke.
No, we've talked about it.
You should see my wife and I at a wedding. Oh, brother. We'll clear a room with our moves. And ballet dancers in particular, I find to be like, it's such a beautiful dance, and they've got those just, pardon my French, Mom, fucked up feet. For the toe shoes or whatever.
Point shoes.
Point shoes. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
We have a ballerina at the table, JT.
Ballerina right there.
I mean, look, I don't wear sandals a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they're not cute.
It's a brutal, cutthroat world.
How far are you? You can really do that stuff?
She's a ballerina. You didn't.
I can dance on point.
No, I mean, people say they're ballerinas. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman. But like, you're actually like you can like do the toe thing and like.
I'm actively in ballet right now.
Wow.
On point.
So you do the sword thing and the ballet thing?
Yeah.
Holy.
Can you combine them together?
I'm a weirdo.
She's like the first sort of brother.
Not a weirdo.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
beautiful.
about with having interests outside of, just movie broadcasting.
Right.
I need to be more well-rounded.
Thanks, Mike.
Did your life flash before your eyes today?
You should have heard the talk McCook and I had in the hospital.
It was honestly like a really emotional talk.
Were you sad that you never took ballet?
Mark and I both talked
That was
about
the bulk
Could
of
have
the
been a
conversation.
ballerine.
You want to do ballet? Billy Elliot.
You can't do ballet, Bella.
Sorry, Brett, we took your...
I don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a shit. You guys can interrupt me all day long. I love you all. I'm not trying to, what am I changing the world here? You guys all saw this movie. Interrupt me all day long. We'll talk about fucking The Rock's outfit over here and the poster. I don't care. Listen.
Well, go back to anywhere but
Anyway,
here.
so here, let me get my notes out again. These are well written. Winona Ryder's in this film.
Oh, yeah.
She's in Stranger Things.
Right.
She's doing something.
Did I say it wrong? Winona?
That's the judge. Yeah.
It's one of the judges.
Who was Winona Ryder in the movie?
Winona. Oh,
She's like the older
ballerina.
dancer who's like getting replaced by
Yeah.
Natalie Portman, and she's
yeah.
Why no, not gonna work here.
She's playing the Gina Gershon character.
Yeah,
from
there's
Showbiz.
another cat. There's that one cat. He's the, what's that cat's name? Vincent Castle?
Yeah, Vincent Cassell.
Yeah, Vincent Cassell.
Cassell. These are, hey, listen, JT, when JT corrects you,
Yeah.
you're a fuck up. You're a real fuck up. Directors Darren Aronofsky.
Thank you for lowering the bar.
That's totally right.
Split screen. That's why I came here. Christian's like, we need to lower the bar for JT.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, so what are we talking about? The Black Swan film?
Don't make me laugh.
I watched it last night,
throw up
y'all. I'm getting chest X-rays tomorrow. Did I mention that part? I'm a little freaked out.
He's changed his name from Mr. Wiggly to Mr. Bronchitis.
Mr. Bronchitis. He's gonna have a cough the whole time. It's gonna be a fun thing. So again, I saw the film. I watched it.
Oh my God,
that's a big thing. It was suspenseful. It was creepy. There was a lot of shaky camera. I didn't much care for that. Here's the problem. I appreciate film when it's made. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Acting was great. The story was great. But there's some things that just aren't your cup of tea, right? This wasn't my cup of tea. Like, even because it was, I wanted to, you know what I told my wife? I go, I would have liked to seen more dancing. No, seriously. If it was 2 hours of dancing, I really, really enjoyed that.
It's called a musical and those suck.
Hey, whoa. Don't you disc the musicals.
Grace, were you a big Black Swan fan? Because you seem to enjoy like darker
this
style
is why.
movies.
Are you kidding me? Aronofsky with Natalie Portman with like weird psychological with ballet. I was like,
yeah.
How was that? I was like, Lord Jesus.
How was that?
I just needed more explanation of why people were the way they were. That's for me. I've mentioned this before. I like to have my ending of a film spoon-fed to me, wrapped in a nice little box, and like I didn't know why her mother was the way she was. For some reason, the whole film, I thought there might have been a sister that died that was the really good dance. I don't know why I made this up in my head, but I was like, oh, we're going to find out she had a sister that was a great dancer that the mom killed on accident or something. So I didn't get the wrap-up,
Well, she was like living vicariously through her daughter. She had been a dancer, and she was like, you got to be better than me.
Yeah,
she's like the crazy stage mom.
What are we with time out?
No,
there's so much going on in this studio.
Do you remember who played the mom? I forget the actress.
Barbara Hershey.
Was it Barbara Hershey?
Barbara Hershey.
Oh, JT beat the outlaw.
Good choice.
Flash Schmodown, go.
Yeah.
Who played the mom in Black Swan?
I'm just happy you pronounced it right.
He's better than you.
All right, so
don't make me answer that.
Wait, Ken, did you see it?
No, I've not seen Black Swan.
See, now look at this. Now wait a second.
Ken doesn't like dark stuff, right?
I got something to say.
Like, you don't like horror films.
I don't like horror.
You don't like too much dark stuff.
I don't
Watch
like
your bronchitis. Watch your bronchitis.
Come on, bronchitis. Take some of this.
I have a question. Brett, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Did you think, now, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, but did you buy...
lesbian scene? What? No.
No. That was amazing.
That was.
Yeah.
I haven't seen something like that since Wild Things. But, like, did you buy the ending of figuring out when did Mila Kunis become a figment of her imagination? And when did she actually die on stage? Like, where were you?
Wait a second.
Did you
Mila
get
Kunis
this?
was a figment
No,
of
that's
her
the,
imagination.
and I appreciate you.
She actually she creates this idea that they have this rivalry, they have the sex.
It's like a triple-decker spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all right. I figured that. I knew that.
I'm glad he brought it up.
It's Black Swan.
I forgot that happened.
There's a
Like
lot
I
of
saw
ways
Black
to interpret it.
Swan,
Yeah.
we reviewed it, and then I totally forgot all the stuff that happened. And other than Barbara Hershey, like that's the one. That was my biggest takeaway from that movie was how haunting Barbara Hershey was, like the creepy mom from like Carrie, like Paper Laurie, like just
Totally.
so overbearing. Like I'm happy I didn't have parents like that.
My takeaway was that all about you like updos, like must get tired of updos. That's all I took away.
Yeah, professional ballerinas bald. They bald here from the tension.
Constantly
Yeah.
just like pulling
I'm
it
serious.
back. That's what everybody else thought about when they thought about this film. So Roka, to go back to Roka. How long is this segment?
It's got about
35
1
minutes?
minute left.
Good,
Yeah, I'm
good.
giving you the wrap.
I just want to point out, Ken hasn't seen it.
Of course Ken hasn't seen
More
it.
of a movie buff than Ken.
Schmodown right now.
Here comes the cutoff.
You got 30 seconds.
That's the thing I didn't get, Roka, was I wasn't sure about whether things were real or not. That's what wasn't spoon-fed to me, was whether, I'm like, is she making it up? Is she crazy?
But
is this really happening?
It's the point. Exactly. Yeah,
That's why it's the point.
Good for you.
It's
All
the
right,
main.
score it.
But
What's your
for
score?
simple-minded folk like myself,
And me.
tell me everything that I need to know. It's like artwork. I don't look at a piece of art and go like, oh, I want to. I have my emotions. No, tell me that this is an old man and he's sad. Tell me the name of it. Right
Don't
there.
go over to my desk then.
You know, so that's.
So we mentioned me cutting you off before.
Hey,
and,
baby, do it all night long.
No, I mean I feel like this is an exercise where maybe when I do my weekly check-in with your mom, she'll be like, hey, how did our pet Brett do today? And I'm like, well, I took him to a big field and I let him run free as the day is long. And there was a road way in the distance, and he started going towards the road and he didn't stop, and he almost got hit a couple times, but you pulled it back. We did. And I think you did a great job here today. I think we could ask you for what your score is on a Grace. Do you know how you score? How Brett does the scoring?
No, I don't remember.
It's on a scale of negative 100 to 0. 0 is the best a movie can possibly be.
Oh, okay.
So as the resident ballerina / fan of Aronofsky here, what would you give Black Swan on that scale?
Negative 100 to 0.
Yeah, 0 is the best you can do.
Zero's
Negative
the
100.
best.
So if I give it like a -2, that's like
really
a 98%.
Oh, yeah. Really
I would
good.
say a fucking -2.
Wow.
It's
Fucking
like one of the
-2.
most perfect.
do a
Like if
fucking
it's in the top 10 films, if you were like, "What, Grace? What movies do you like?" I'd be like, "Black Swan, top 10, hands down."
Black Swan.
Wow,
Black Swan.
Holy cow!
I
top
said to
10.
Grace today on TV Talk this morning, I said, you are like somebody that likes to live in a coffin in the middle of a candy store. Like, she's very dark, but also sweet.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the misconception is that if you have dark taste, that you're a dark person. Not at all the case. Like
That's
I'm
true.
a big bubbly dum dum.
But I have an honest
I like
question
those-
about that. And
Hey, get it. I don't give a shit.
like if you meet somebody, and this could be for anybody, like if you're on like a first date with somebody, Roki, you can relate to this.
Sure.
Can you
take him to Chinese?
Is it Wednesday?
Oh my
Is it
god.
Wednesday?
I'm starting to get the hurt and house back.
I got one in 45 minutes, so let's hustle this along. Yeah.
Do you think that you would like say like if you're on a first date and somebody's like, oh, what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Like, even if I love Black Swan, I'm not opening with Black Swan.
No.
Well,
like,
you-
I'm opening with, like, you know.
Bad Boys, too.
I don't
No.
think I'm doing that one either, but God bless you. You found somebody who responded. I would just go with something lighter. I think that's kind of like a stigma, is that if you say that I love this kind of style of movie, that
Right.
people might lump you in a certain way.
Absolutely. But I would totally open with that because I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I love Black Swan.
Yeah, but I think if I was on a first date with Grace because she's so sweet, if she
Okay,
said
Roka,
that,
I didn't set
that would be
up.
okay.
I didn't set that up.
You know what I'm saying?
Roka,
Here we
you're
go.
full time here now. There's
Here we
HR
go.
to deal with.
Hey, that
You guys cut it out, man. Some people exist on another plane. Like I'm just saying, like if I was on
I'm
another,
sweating.
if I was on a first date with someone like Grace, not
Yeah.
Grace herself, because she's sweet, she's nice, she's fun, she's playful, and then she said Black Swan, that would go easy. That would go down easier. But if I was on a date with someone who was not talkative, who wore the dark hair, and then she was Black Swan, I was like, yeah, I've made a mistake here. I gotta go.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the only
that's a
reason.
good
That's
point. I get
different.
Well, yeah,
I
I mean,
get
it's like I dance on point, and I love, I paint, and I sword fight. Like,
And you
it's
also
fun
rip
to
your
have.
fingernail skin from this.
Oh, man. That
And then I grow feathers, yeah.
Wow. Well, I will tell you this, Kat. I think Cody's doing a great job tonight with the split screen.
Cody.
I know.
And, he's knocking it out of the park.
Brett, let's get your score on
Yeah.
Black Swan.
I dance on point.
Score the goddamn movie. Let's go.
I would pay to see
No,
that.
I'm going to talk about other things
All
right
right,
now.
Cody, go to break.
Do it. No, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna. You know what? Just because I like Grace, I'm gonna give it a. Just all the shit I talked about, I'm gonna give it a -2.
Wow.
Because I can still think something. I can still think something is a great film, but it's not my cup of tea, and that's something I'm learning.
Fair
And
enough.
you can't judge it like that. I can judge whatever because it's not Joe from Chicago to the future. It's Brett to the future. So that's all I want to say. So.
Yay!
That it is. On that note, with a need to buy new equipment, we'll take your phone calls on the other side of the break. It's Schmo's No Show. Woo!
And welcome back to Second Break. Schmoville, hope you're enjoying everything so far tonight. Hey, we've got a cloudy sky with the chance of meatballs out there with some spaghetti rains pouring in. Oh, Cody's a big fan of that one, and I hope you're a fan of it too. And enjoy the rest of these programmings and the rest of your night, Schmoville. Hey.
We are going to talk about the setup, but we're not going to dwell on the setup because Christian is right. Ultimately, it does not matter. It doesn't. It doesn't matter to us. So the people that in Schmoville who are ranting and what word do I want? protesting about this decision.
Were people really protesting? Is this a thing?
I neglected to look at the YouTube comments, but they mentioned that people were having a problem with it, and Cobster mentioned it as well during the episode. So just stop. Find something else. Go read up on some Warner Brothers Ben Affleck news. Go put your time into that. Because this new setup thing is just not a big deal at all.
I want to, while we're on this subject real quick, I want to point something out, a little factoid that I discovered this week as well. You know how sometimes the voices of few can seem like the overwhelming voice of all? Like they're like, oh, people don't like the setup, when it's only been like a handful of people who have mentioned it. You know how we sort of misconstrue that from time to time?
So please don't take him away because he's the most compelling character.
Absolutely.
So hopefully he survived his wounds.
Yeah.
They open on the next one. He's there's a big breath, and then boom, story just keeps going. That's fine.
It's one of these rare films that that I go in not knowing what to expect, and it feels like I can nestle back into my seat and just watch it.
Okay.
And so that's why I enjoyed it. It was something I didn't expect to have these massive battles and skirmishes and huge destruction and stuff. I enjoyed the psychological aspect of it, and it just hit all the right notes. Like that's the only way I can explain it. It hit all the right buttons for me that I enjoyed myself in the theater and went back a second time to enjoy it even more. You know, so who knows? Maybe if you go back a second time, maybe you might hate it even more a second time. Who knows?
I mean, I saw it at the Chinese.
Oh,
best picture.
Yeah, that's the best way to see it.
Exactly, best sound. Yeah. Just man, I was geeked for this. I wanted to see this.
You were yoked.
Yeah, and
it didn't quite get there.
Oh man, walked out and was just like, really? That's it? It's a great story, but
all you got.
that's the arc of this?
Right.
I guess that makes sense on some level. He is just, a man, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you change it up and you do something new and fresh and then it hits, then everyone's going to start doing
exactly.
it. So
it's also I'm sorry for throwing a pen at you.
I enjoy
it. It's hard though because it's like there is I mean being on a carpet is probably one of the most unfun interviews to do where like you don't know who you're gonna get, you yell for people to come over, so you have an X amount of time. It's not very long. I mean, some of the bigger networks obviously have an extended period with people, but how many interviews have they done with them? And that's where it's like the producers and the interviewer need to really put work into saying, okay, what new stuff can we talk to them about? What stuff do people really want to hear aside from their dress?
Well, it would have been
I do want to hear what they're wearing, but I want to hear other stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
I just like to see it feel a little bit more real, and I know that's more of a production standpoint than the actual host because they're getting told what to do and they got to throw to somebody else in 10 seconds. What I really needed a good red carpet was during this Oscar ceremony because once we got to the actual show, we opened so strong. Oh my God, that opening number!
I was like, oh, it's Jack Black. Jack Black.
He was so good.
And it's funny from what he said. And I thought of it as a joke, but like where he was cracking on the superhero movies as part of the song.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. I thought it was really funny, and I was like, "This is going to be great."
Yeah.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Schmoes No Show.
Ow!
I'm Ken Apsock here with Grace Hancock, JTE, Josh Tappy, a little evil, the outlaw John Roca. We have Brett, scores a movie in 20 minutes, Sheridan. We've got Josh McCouga. And injured but here, a hero to many, Mark, baby.
Playing through. Thanks for all the love,
Playing through.
Appreciate it.
He's my favorite.
We are going to be playing the game here shortly, but before we do that, I think it's time, Cobster, that we finally open up those phone lines.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Cody.
So that number is up.
All righty. Oh, we got one right now.
Ooh.
Shh.
We got a phone caller. Go ahead. Hey, welcome to Schmoes No. Who's this?
Hey, it's Matt from Indiana.
Matt from Indiana, man.
Hey,
What's
Matty.
going on, Matt?
Nothing much. I'm finally glad I got a call. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I got him last.
2 or 3 years.
Long time fan.
You're a regular Ryan Snelling of not getting phone calls.
I love it when a robot can get in to the phone.
All right. What's on your mind, man?
Nothing much, honestly. Since I was watching the show on my phone, I've been trying to call. I don't know what's going on for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, well.
If anything has been going on.
No, for the last 5 minutes, we've been on break, so you're perfect, man. What do you want to talk about? Give me a topic, and we'll go for it.
Set the tone.
Let's see. Well, I I feel stupid. I thought I would be one of those people who had something, fantastic to come up with, but no, I'm blank right now.
Hey, you know what? It happens.
I mean, here's your
Well,
chance to
hey,
talk. You're talking directly to JT. You got the chance of a lifetime here, man.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Don't waste this opportunity. Tell your grandkids about this someday.
Should I talk about how much I hate the Patriots?
End call.
Yes. Please do. It'll just make me so much happier when I win again.
Why do you hate?
No, I'm talking about the NFL team. I'm talking about the NFL team.
Oh, I agree with that.
Oh, do you just hate rings? Super Bowl rings? Is that what you hate? I mean, is it jewelry?
But he hates cheating, man.
All right. Thanks for the call, Matt.
He hates smashing cell phones with evidence on it.
All right, we've got another call there.
Yes, we got another one. Please have a question.
All right. Welcome to Schmoes No Show.
Hi.
Who is this?
Hello, it's Jonathan from Alexandria, Virginia.
Whoa. Nice. Check it in.
Jonathan.
Shout out.
Sauce's house.
Virginia.
All right, man. What's on your mind?
Two quick things. One, actually, for Ace and Copster.
Yeah, what's up, dog? This is for you. And me, I guess.
You two have seen Death Note.
We
and
have.
I'm going to have to ask you an outside-the-box question, just a quick curiosity question. After you two have seen the movie, what are your thoughts now or expectations now for Adam Wingard doing a good job for Godzilla vs. Kong? And the second question for the rest of the crew, and September 4th is Force Friday. And also, I'm wondering what are you planning to get on Force Friday or any advices there?
That's a great question, Jonathan. Thank you. Please DM us on Twitter at SchmoesNo and ask. And you just won Black Sales on Blu-ray. So he asked us a little bit about Death Note.
Okay.
Kind of expectations going forward if Adam Wingard is going to do another one. I enjoyed it. I watched the anime. It is not great. It's not even really good, but I still kind of enjoyed it. And the guy's getting so much hate right now. He's just doing the job, and I don't think it's fair.
Again, we posted a review with Emma5 who
check it
loved
out.
the movie. It's a movie that it's a very mixed bag.
Yeah.
Some things worked. Most things didn't work. It's tough to adapt something like Death Note, though. It's one of the most complex, most well-written animes. I got Copster on it, and you loved it too, right? The original anime.
Yeah, I like the anime.
It's a very complex, very good storyline. But here's the thing: here's the thing about Netflix. Whether people watch this to hate watch it, or whether people watch it because they're interested, or whether people watch it because they want to watch it, it's getting clicks.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of views. People have been watching it all weekend. I can almost guarantee they're going to make a second one because of how much hype is surrounding this movie a lot.
Can I say something real quick about anime? I've been working with Emma Fife now for a while, and she brings up anime all the time. Her knowledge of anime is impressive. Every time she mentions an anime something that has a live-action remake, she pretty much 99% of the time has been like, it was remade in a live-action, everybody hated it, it was total trash. Like, has there ever been anything anime made that live-action that's been good?
Speed Racer. Here's
oh god, Speed Racer. No.
Has its fans.
Anime fans are very precious with anime.
Precious.
It's one of those. It's such a foreign art. It's a very Japanese foreign art. It's very very difficult to adapt.
But I like
to
sushi.
To a Hollywood.
Oh my god.
It's a different art form to adapt it.
He's got a good point.
Kaboom. Basically, anime. It's made specifically for that.
Yeah.
Very drawn out storyline, so it's difficult to make that into a 2-hour Hollywood movie.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
All right.
Makes
And
sense.
then the second,
point, Ace.
what are you guys getting on Force for Change?
Force Friday. Force Friday. Force Friday
Force
2.
for change.
Force for change.
Donate to Force
I
for
like
Change.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not getting much actually. To be honest with you, it's Black Series stuff. It's Funko Pops. I'll get what I need, but not a lot of interesting things coming out other than the books.
Do we know what's coming out yet, Ken? Because my friends and I were talking about it.
We do. We do. And the Phasma novel, and then the Young Princess Leia novel by Claudia Gray. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay,
I like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I concur.
Maybe the most,
Is this only at Target? Also?
maybe my favorite.
What? Hold on. What's going on over there with
no idea.
Waldorf and Statler from the college year? Thanks for the call. All right.
Oh my God.
Where's everything go? Okay. over
You
there?
go. I'm not going to get much. A lot of Black Series, so I'll get what I need. What is this? Fucking Doomsday Prepper Star Wars edition?
missed it, man.
I'm gonna get some cans of green beans. I'm gonna get a blanket.
You got to prep for the future.
A novel from Noel. Leonardo.
All the hot sauce is coming back into my head now. God, that's good.
One more call, Copster, then we're gonna play the game.
All right, we got a caller right me out.
Caller, you are on live on Schmoes No. Who is this?
Kevin from Norfolk, Virginia.
Nice. Virginia, check it in. Again.
Coming to
Kevin. Hey, Kevin. All right, Kevin, what's on your mind tonight?
So I haven't been watching the whole show today because I've been at school.
All right, bye.
What recommendations would you guys give for, like, I'm not a huge fan of Game of Thrones. Like, where would you recommend I start? The books, the series, like?
I mean, if you're not a fan, start with the series.
Yeah, series.
Hey,
Just go to the
I
series.
might want to become a fan. I don't know.
I would just start with the TV show, episode 1, season 1, episode 1. Just go in from there. The books are amazing, but the books
don't have an ending right now.
Don't have an ending, but also it's if you're questioning it and you're trying to figure out if you like it or you want to get back into it because maybe you didn't like it, the books might be 14 pages of what Tyrion's dinner was like. Could get a little thick sometimes, so I would just go with the show.
Also, he's in school. He's doing enough reading. He's furthering his education. Go and watch some TV. As we always say, put down the book, pick up the remote.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Is that what the tagline is?
We
Chris?
don't always say that, but not intentionally.
Yeah, and if you're digging the series, check out the Telltale game. It's pretty fun.
Oh.
Kind of works into this.
Yep.
Yeah,
Video
the show.
Legos. It's canon.
Yeah, it's canon. So
All
it's
right.
another fun.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, and
Nerds.
congrats. Please, you won the 4K version of Baywatch, and it also includes you get a nice little bundle. You get the backpack, a hoodie, a water bottle, some really cool stuff. You don't get the life size Dwayne the Rock Johnson. So DM us on Twitter. DM us. So thanks.
DM us.
DM us.
Oh.
Dipshit.
DMX is gonna rock you.
Okay.
All right, that's the calls for now. I think it is time. Cody, tell me when you got that music cued. It's time for the game.
Drums the shit out of this right now. Hold on, check it out. I need everyone back here.
I gotta move all the liquids away from me.
Headbanging with me.
Yeah. All right. Lemmy.
Your air drumming has a lot.
Lemmy, Motorhead playing out Triple H, and also the theme for the game.
Oh, my head hurts.
We are going to have some, what are the teams tonight? We got John Roca, the Outlaw, versus Grace Hancock, the devious one, the lioness of the jungle. We got the jungle ruling the kingdom, JTE, and we got Josh McCouga playing on behalf of an injured Mark Ellis.
Nice. I'm part of no faction or team.
Yep,
I'm
just
just a
playing.
guy
So
with a dream.
the rules are what we're doing.
Loves-
First to five. First to five is what we always play, right? We'll do that. We got time for first to five.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a clip from a movie. And the first person that thinks they have it, they not slam, they gently caress their buzzer.
I'm going.
Gently caress the buzzer until it goes, and then you have a chance to answer. If you get it wrong, you are locked out of that round. Are the competitors ready?
Yeah.
Let's rock.
All right, here we go. Clip number 1.
Are you honestly and truly going to prom with Katrina DeVore?
Ooh. Who we got? Josh McCouga.
Heathers.
That's incorrect.
Incorrect.
John Roca.
Juno.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about Juno today.
All right.
Ah, you didn't get it.
Okay,
All right,
that's
next
aggressive.
clip.
Roca up. Clip 2.
Dude, I almost had you.
Josh Tapia. Sorry.
Okay.
Josh.
Hold on. I know it.
He's done.
Hold on. How many
5,
times do I get?
4, 3.
Point
2.
Break?
Nope.
No.
Play it again.
Close though.
I got it.
Well, too bad.
You never had me. You never had your car.
Oh, really? Josh McCouga.
Fast and Furious.
There you go.
Wow. Give you Point Break.
There's
and
8 of
Fast
them. I didn't want to take a chance.
It technically is Point Break. So.
All right.
Yeah,
I thought it was
1-1.
I thought it was Point Break when he grabs the guy's hair because he's trying to
Dude.
cut it to see if he's one of the
1-1.
I jumped the
Roca.
gun on that one.
Clip number 3.
do in your father's garage?
Tune-ups, oil changes, brake.
My cousin Vinny.
Yes.
Wow,
correct.
McCouga takes
Good job, McCougs.
McCougs.
All right.
Coming in hot.
Clip number 4.
Yeah, well, you don't have to explain anything to me.
I do. Because you're acting like I didn't love you.
Evelyn, loving you kept me alive.
Oh, that is JTE.
Shit.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good catch,
2-on-1. That movie was so bad.
Who remembers that
Is there any
motherfucking
like
movie?
theme to these films, or is it just a fucking free for all?
Fucking free for all, Grace.
All right, clip
it's-
number 5.
This is just me getting up in the morning.
Josh McCouga.
Lilo and Stitch?
No.
Oh, wow. Good guess. Not a good guess, but a good guess. Keep it going.
Oh, JTE.
Land Before Time.
That is correct.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, wait, Ken, I got to call timeout
Yeah.
real quick. All right, so I want you to play that clip again, and the first voice you hear is exactly how Grace talks to her daughter, Rat.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
My daughter rap.
Like, that is exactly it.
I wasn't looking at the main table in the clip. I was looking at you guys, and I thought it was Grace talking into the microphone. That's incredible.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. All right. 2-2-1-0.
Want to know what you're up to?
Josh McCouga.
Holy shit.
Kill Bill 2.
No. Wow, what did you...
That
Whoa,
was
what the...
great.
Okay.
What?
What do you mean? Yesterday. Last night? What were you doing last night?
JTE.
Donnie Brasco?
Oh,
Nice.
shit. Yeah,
Wow. 3-2-1. I'd like to also, at 0, remind JT to not punch
Sorry.
that like
I'm
you're-
sorry.
I
like
fucking
you're
told you.
Adonis
So sorry.
Creed.
Was that too hard?
Yes.
That's what she said.
Oh, damn it, Grace. That's good.
Thank
Michael
you, Gracie.
Madsen was Kill Bill 2. I just heard Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Respect.
Next
Respect.
clip
Yeah, it's not
now.
So, where are you staying?
Oh, well, we thought about asking if we could stay with you, but then we don't want to impose, so we got a room at the Marriott.
Oh, the Marriott's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I'll have my office contact them and they can forward us the bill.
Oh, no.
No. It's not.
JTE.
Blue Jasmine?
Holy shit.
Wow.
4,
2,
He's got a
Come
belt
on,
for a
Grace.
reason, kids.
Damn.
Come on,
0.
hey.
Grace, you're still in it?
Come on, Grace, let's do this.
All right.
I'm nailing it.
Potential winner here for JTE.
Shit.
How are you?
Shy.
Hello, Judith.
Hello, son.
Larry, I want to thank you for coming. It's so important we be able to discuss these things.
I'm happy to come to Ember's side, but I'm thinking really maybe it's best to leave these discussions to the lawyers.
Of course. Legal matters you let the lawyers discuss. You don't mix apples and oranges.
I have begged you to see the lawyer.
I told you I'm going Monday.
Monday is timely. This is not...
I'm taking a guess.
JT.
Match point?
No.
All right. No.
Does anyone want to... This is a very long clip. Does anybody want to take
No.
it?
Yeah, we're going to guess. The Downton Abbey.
Grace, I want to remind you that you are playing. Okay.
Oh! Shots fired.
Oh, okay. All right. I had to. Okay. Let's play a new clip.
All right,
Yeah,
next
good.
clip.
Yeah, who
Oh,
was
that
it?
was A Serious Man.
Oh,
Oh,
never saw
Coen
it.
Brothers.
He
Coen
sounded
Brothers.
very
Like 2 people
serious.
saw them.
Okay. Ooh, this is a good one.
You know how to use that thing?
Ooh, great.
Go ahead, Grace.
Zorro. The Mask of Zorro.
Ah, see? That's what you needed.
That was good.
Little
fire.
needed it.
All right. 4, 2, 1, 1.
What's to go for? What do you see day after day? The one smart bomb falling down a chimney. The truth? I was in the building when we shot that shot. We shot it in a studio, Falls Church, Virginia, 1/10 scale mile.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, JT.
Wag the dog?
Damn it! Winner. He's got a belt for a reason, kid.
I got it at the last second, JT.
Damn.
Look at that. A big 5-2-1-1 victory for JTE. You have the floor,
Damn, that
JT.
was
Talk
good.
about your victory here.
That was good.
I'm
That
glad I
feels so
rewatched
normal.
Blue Jasmine not that long ago. Very underrated. Well, actually, it was underrated. It hit a lot of award.
Yeah,
prestige.
I was gonna say, it's rated.
Yeah,
It's
no,
rated.
it did really. And I agree, Kate Blanchett won that year. But Match Point, which I guessed earlier, another Woody Allen film, is probably my favorite Woody Allen film.
What?
Oh, wow.
Because it's so different than what Woody Allen's done before.
Even over A
and
Bug's
I'm
Life?
not. You're talking about Ants.
Ants.
Bugs Life was Pixar. my
That's
friend.
true.
Ants was better.
Yeah, Ants was better.
Okay.
Wait, what's happening?
Shut the fuck
Hey,
up.
you're,
Yeah.
All right, can we eliminate JT and let Roka, Grace, and I play for
Yeah.
next
Second
week?
place?
Okay,
I like
fine.
that. I like how Josh thinks. Well, the
Okay.
buzzers
Thanks
aren't
for
turned on.
reminding me I'm
Alright.
playing
Once again,
Copster.
changing the rules for the
Oh,
best
sorry.
part.
Hold
We got
on.
a little time
I
here.
turned it off.
Say your name.
I
Got a
turned
little
it off too
time.
soon. All
Say
right.
my name.
I think you're gonna have to
say
turn
my
on your
name.
buzzers, please.
no one
Flip it over.
found you.
Flip it over.
Baby, I love
We
you.
prepare.
You ain't running game.
Just hold. It's the button right next. Oh my God.
Look, I didn't touch it. Ken
You guys
grabbed
are-
it.
We
Okay.
should
That's
do
what she said.
2 hours of this.
Here we go. All right.
All
Play the
right.
clip. Thanks, RB3. Appreciate you.
All right, reset
Damn,
those
I
buttons.
can't play.
Reset 'em,
those.
reset 'em.
Reset 'em.
Resetting.
Play in your mind.
All right. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Because the situation is even less simple than you think. Do you know what your sin is, Doctor?
I wonder if you...
It's pride.
Cougar.
Josh McCouga.
Devil's Advocate?
No, that's not
Oh.
terrible, but it's not good.
Keep it going.
Oh, shit.
Key members of Parliament have personally observed this subject. I was told the Alliance's support...
Key members of Parliament.
Sounds outer space.
No?
Yeah.
The minds behind every military, diplomatic,
I mean, I know who the
covert
fuck is talking,
operation
but I don't know what it's
in
from.
The galaxy.
Doesn't really help,
And you
huh?
put
Thanks,
them
Copster.
in a room with a psychic.
Oh, I got it.
If there was some classified information that she
All right, I'm not
never
gonna play the whole
spoke of it.
clip.
Can I say it?
Roku, you want to guess first?
I have no concept. Absolutely no clue.
It's
Great.
Serenity.
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that once.
Okay.
Great movie.
All right.
That's what I was going to guess.
All right.
Grace for the win.
Yes.
All right.
The first person to 2 out of the 3 of us
Yeah.
wins.
All right. Fine. Yeah. Let's do that.
Are we all ones?
We're all zeros right now.
Oh,
First person to 2
okay.
wins.
First person to
Okay.
2. Okay.
I seek to build an empire. And your only thought is to amuse yourselves by tearing it down.
The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah. Great. Point.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. He was doing a bit.
So now it's game point for Grace.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no pressure.
Is this what happens when you die?
This is what happens when you die. That is what happens when he dies.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
that is what happens when they die.
I want to buzz.
It's all very personal. And I'll tell you something. If
Roka.
John Roka.
Beetlejuice?
That's correct.
I should have known that.
We come
right.
for
I
your daughter,
apologize.
Chuck.
All right.
It goes with the most.
Every living creature on Earth dies alone.
How did that make you feel?
Who the fuck picked this?
It reminded me of my dog, Callie. She died when I was 8, and she crawled underneath the...
It's a great way to end the show right here.
I think I know it. I can't.
To die.
To be alone.
This was all right.
Just
Yeah,
go to the
that's-
next
all
one.
right. It was
It's a
Donnie.
fucking
I'm
downer,
sorry, it was
Copster.
Donnie Darko. I didn't pick it. It was Donnie Darko.
Fucking Donnie Darko.
All right. All right. Next clip.
It's a good movie.
1-1-0.
Eric Chikoff, Donnie Darko.
Andre, Ray Ray.
What's up, Coach?
Why don't you bring everybody in?
Hey, yo, bring it up. Come on, bro, bring it in.
Oh, come on.
Let's go.
Bad News Bears?
Oh, close.
If you two don't get it, I
Put
got
your
it.
fucking hands out, Gigi.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
I want you guys to take a good look at yourselves today. Feel proud.
John.
Hardball.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a winner.
John Roka's the winner. Thank God. Let's end
Place. Good job. Good job.
Oh,
Good
man.
job.
All right, 15 more minutes with just Grace and Roka.
Good
Grace and
round. Good
McCougar.
rounds. Good games. And Copster, that was sponsored by some wonderful folks.
it. Yes, our good friends at Loot Crate. We've been working with Loot Crate for so long. We love working with them. And I believe September's theme is robotic, including Blade Runner 2049,
Josh's
Aliens,
favorite.
Star
Robots.
Trek, and Star Wars. So be sure to check out Loot Crate. They do great little boxes of loot in a crate. So you want to check them out. It's so fun. A lot of cool, geeky stuff. You get some T-shirts, a nice little pin, some toys sometimes. So check it out. Check
As
out
long
Loot
as there's
Crate.
no Westworld stuff in there, we're great.
There's no Westworld
Yes.
stuff.
All
So there
right.
you go. So check out Loot Crate.
Thank you, our friends Loot Crate again. Thank you to Squarespace and FanDuel. All of our sponsors make this show possible, so support them when you can. Guys, that is it for tonight. It's been an interesting show. We had to put some stuff together last minute, but it's nice to know that a hero will rise again from the ashes, and that Mark Ellis.
You
Probably
guys all did absolutely fantastic. It was fun watching the show.
Yeah, you'll probably not want to join me at Don Cuco's for lunch at any point, and I understand, but we'll be there. We'll be there.
I'll take a few weeks off the Cuco's, but thank you, Ken, for running the ship, and thank you, all you guys, for hanging out. You guys
absolutely
are great.
glad to see you up off the bathroom floor, Josh McCouga. Thanks for being an ambulance service and helping our friend recover.
Listen, there's nothing I'd rather do on a Wednesday afternoon than take my best friend to the hospital.
Right, just like there was nothing you'd rather do than try to kill him an hour earlier.
Whoopsie-daisy. Whoopsie-daisy.
Brett Sheridan, I don't know what you did today, but it was good. Good to have you back. Get that cough taken care of.
Oh, look at the tries on that.
Chest X-rays.
Good.
Chest X-rays.
Hey, wish me luck
Chest
on the chest X-ray.
Go
Check
get
me out
him,
on
Brad.
the internet web and
Yeah,
go.
we'll do that.
Get your pet spayed or neutered.
Okay. John Roca, thanks for stepping in last minute.
Thanks, everybody, for having me on. I
Thanks,
appreciate it. It's
John.
always nice to come on. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got our video coming out soon.
Yes.
We got some Tyrion theories coming up too.
I really loom. I love that he plays the clip, the bitch that won't step up and play, because he knows. Keep playing that clip.
JTE.
God damn it! Shut the fuck up. Come and say it to my face, motherfucker.
That's the best. JT, good to
That's
have
great
you back.
being back.
Welcome,
I'm going to try to come some more, but what
Yeah.
can I do?
That's what she said.
Hey! Yes, I set it up. You knock it down, Grace.
All right, Grace Hancock. When you going to give a ballet performance for all of us to watch?
With swords.
With swords.
Right after I
Don't pay attention to it. Just roll with it.
You don't.
right
call
after
it.
I compete the Schmodown. So
Oh.
you'll be waiting a long
Oh.
time. You guys can find me online everywhere at Mrs. Graceface, and every day of the week on Collider TV Talk. We are live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Starting next week on Tuesday, we are live every day 9 a.m.
Boom.
Wow. Did that better plug than you, McCouga. You know what I'm talking about that?
I
Lot on
didn't
your
plug
mind.
anything but trying to
Yeah, a lot on your mind
Whatever.
tonight. A lot on your mind tonight. Thanks to the Wanger table, Cobster, Beardo, especially Ace. Always so insightful. We love you, Ace. Cody Hall probably made fun of me at one point on the lower third tonight. RB3 and the other kid in the shadows, Max. I'm kidding. I'm Ken Napsuk. That's it for now. We'll see you next week. Thanks to Zach Efron's abs for stopping by. We'll see y'all next week on the Schmoes No Show.
God damn it! Shut the fuck up.